giving off some serious, "I'm here to wreck your day" demon vibes. Aang, after a quick sparring session, figures out that, like a cosmic smoothie, if you blend the right elemental energies, you can multitask like a boss and control multiple elements at once. Elemental juggling. Anyone? But oh snap, the demon's sneaking up on Aang like a ninja in tap shoes. Big Aang channels his inner Captain Planet, summoning the power of gold and water into his hands. Bling bling meets splash splash. He spins around faster than a Beyblade on Red Bull, unleashing a double blast of elemental fury. Boom, shakalaka. In a flash, two beams of "don't mess with me" energy collide like a monster truck rally. But wait, there's more. The demon's not just gonna stand there and take it. He throws a punch, or a claw, or something equally terrifying. In the blink of an eye, these two world-shattering forces go head-to-head. It's gonna get messy. Cue the epic explosion sound effect. Kaboom! Smoke billows everywhere. It's like a Snoop Dogg concert. Rocks fly. Debris rains down. It's a demolition derby. Meanwhile, Fei, following Aang's instructions like a good little sidekick, pops up a force field and chills out, waiting for the dust to settle. Safety first. Kids, here we go. Round 1. Fight. Don't be startled by my fabulousness and sheer awesomeness. You could say I have a certain je ne sais quoi, a special talent, if you will. Just call me Aang. That's A-N-G. Aang. It was then that Fei realized just how freaking terrifying Aang truly was. This dude was radiating an aura that screamed, "Demon spawn," louder than a heavy metal concert. Nah, scratch that. This wasn't just demon-ish. This was pure, unadulterated demon. As the smoke cleared, the elemental demon got a good look at Aang and was like, "Whoa, this guy just glanced at him, and somehow, magically, just knew his skills, and not just knew them, but could wield two elements at once. Like, what sorcery is this?" Aang just smirked. "Oh honey, 2 is just my warm-up. Since you're so curious, let's just say I'm about to blow your tiny demon mind." And with that, Aang unleashed a torrent of elemental power, sending the demon flying back like a rag doll. The demon used the brief respite to patch himself up with some wood element magic. Just like Aang suspected, this demon had a whole elemental buffet going on. This was gonna be fun. Now that I've got a handle on your power level, it's time to wrap this up. No sooner had the words left his mouth than the elemental demon froze. He looked down, to find his left foot thoroughly hogtied by vines. Could this human be controlling the vines too? Seizing the moment while the demon was bound, Aang channeled amplified gold elemental energy, shaping it into a razor-sharp hand blade. He'd learned this trick back in the demon hunting tournament, from that 4 seasons gold elemental demon. Good times. Meanwhile, the elemental demon busted loose from his viney prison. Alright then, let's see whose elemental power reigns supreme. I'm betting all my spiritual energy on this. In a flash, 3 golden shields materialized out of thin air, forged from pure gold elemental energy. Aang grinned. "Showtime, finally. You're focusing your energy," he yelled to Fei. "Now's the time." The elemental demon was totally clueless. Like, what just happened? He turned around to see Fei holding a glowing spear, made of pure energy, like some kind of Jedi lightsaber. "This is high-level energy manipulation," Fei explained. "First, you gotta gather your Kai. Like focusing on your inner unicorn. Then, feel the force. I mean, the energy's vibe. Sense its flow, its shape, like it's trying to do the Macarena. Turn that invisible energy into something solid, like a giant energy fist ready to punch evil in the face. Then, boom, you unleash the Kraken. Or, use it. But there's a catch. After unleashing his inner Goku and obliterating the elemental demon, the energy backlash hit him like a ton of bricks. Dude was spent. He couldn't even stand up. Like a newborn giraffe, wobbly legs and all. Fei had to practically carry him out of there. But just as they stumbled out of the cave, a shadowy figure followed closely behind. Just moments ago, Aang had instructed Fei that while he battled the demon, Fei would deliver the fatal final blow. After all, this was no ordinary foe. An elemental demon, possessing cunning intelligence. If it focused solely on defense, they wouldn't be able to defeat it anytime soon. But Aang planned to force the demon's energy into a concentrated point, because then, the elemental demon's defenses would be weakened. And that moment would be Fei's chance to strike. Now, the cunning, elemental demon realized their intentions. It dawned on him that these humans had planned this all along. But by then, it was too late. Could only watch helplessly as the green energy, hairy tendrils, like some kind of freaky space kelp. Stabbed towards him. Looks like Aang's analysis was spot on. Sharper than attack. This energy-gathering mumbo-jumbo is like a supercharged energy drink for weirdo powers. It can pierce a demon's armor like a hot knife through butter, or demon flesh. When the demon went all in, using all its juice to counter Aang, it basically left its defenses wide open. Rookie mistake. Elemental demon tried to patch itself up, like some demonic duct tape, but no dice. Fail. Strike while the iron's hot. Or in this case, while the demon's leaking green goo. Aang wasn't about to let this golden opportunity slip through his fingers. He went full throttle, straight for the demon's squishy bits, reached out with his own grabby hands, demon claw style, and snagged that elemental crystal right out of the demon's chest. Bling. No crystal? No demon. Simple as that. The demon went kaput, lost its mojo, dropped to its knees like a bad habit. Elemental demon. Dead as a doornail. Even in death, it was probably wondering, why couldn't I use my magic healing band-aid? Too late, buddy. To make sure this chump kicks the bucket in a way that makes sense. Aang slowly explained, laying down some knowledge. See, his attacks are all about healing vibes. Pure and simple, but when he goes all aggro and tries to smack someone, it, totally rejects any healing mojo that isn't his own. Aang dropped that truth bomb, and the elemental demon finally caught on. Attack equals rejection. Rejection city. Population. This demon. So you played me like a fiddle. The demon croaked, and with that dramatic exit line, he went down like a sack of potatoes, leaving behind a pile of magpie bridges? Weird. Suddenly, Fei came busting in like, Aang, you alright, dude? Aang was like, chill, I'm good, giving her the thumbs up. Thanks to you, we snagged that core. Fei exclaimed, that move you pulled was epic. Bu kui shi si tu jia de tien kai shao nu. You're a total badass. Situ. Boom. Compliment dropped. Fei turned as red as a tomato. Then, trying to play it cool, she just kind of mumbled and looked away. With a roll of his eyes, he muttered, no duh, Sherlock, I'm not trying to be dead weight. You know, Chan asked, that flashy move you just pulled, didn't it drain, all your energy reserves? You sure you're okay? Fei waved him off. I'm good, at least, good enough to move. For now. But just then, rapid footsteps echoed from outside. Speak of the devil, they found us way faster than I expected. Some of these guys have, spidey senses for energy. They can pinpoint the exact location of any major energy blast. Great, gotta go. Now, let's get out of here. Footsteps are coming from the left. Before they get here, let's book it to the right. Quick. But in the next second, Aang's heart sank. Then, bam, straight down to his knees. He went, and oh boy. Did he technicolor yawn, a mouthful of blood, just like in the movies. Staring at the crimson puddle, Fei was like, what just happened? So, like a good buddy, he rushed over to prop Aang back up. No demons jumped him, no warrior whacked him. So what in the world was going on? Aang was all shaky, trying to pull a get up like a champ, even digging his fingers into the ground like he was trying to plant himself. But nope, couldn't even stand, like his legs had turned to jelly. Watching Aang tremble like a leaf in a hurricane, Fei went full on mom mode. Honey, are you okay? What's wrong? Where does it hurt? The whole 9 yards. Finally, Aang's brain rebooted and he was like, oh yeah, turns out, his body was kind of a fixer-upper to begin with. Sure, he got a temporary upgrade, all beefed up and in sync with whatever, but he'd been spamming that demon power-up button, like it was going out of style. So, yeah, whoops, my body's hit its limit. I'm maxed out of all the rotten luck. Why now? I can't bounce back in a snap. But the other squads are closing in fast. I told Fei to wait outside with the crystal, but he hoisted me up. Nope, we're in this together. We leave together. Look, I don't need your life story right now. He said, no time for explanations. Just move it. You're my captain, and I'm not leaving you behind. Period. We found an exit pretty quick. This should lead topside. He said, hang in there. Aang, get up there. Some fresh air will do you wonders. I was too wiped to even talk. But somehow, Fei practically dragged me to the surface. A place as massive as Bone Burial Castle has gotta have other ways in and out. But what surprised Fei was, this was exactly like a dream he'd had. Even Aang's injury was the same as in the dream, but he didn't have time to dwell on it. Just then, 6 figures suddenly appeared behind them. In the blink of an eye, they blocked their path. Teaming up with you guys was a smart move. We're all Wu Kai, so let's skip the pleasantries. Your triplet sensing abilities are truly impressive. Were those two the ones who started the fight? This is bad. Fei thought. Damn. 6 pentacore warriors. The blonde guy with the scar on his forehead scoffed. Am I seeing things? A measly monocore warrior dares to come here? Are you two the only ones in your squad? And that guy's even injured from fighting a demon? But a second later, Blondie's eyes widened, because he spotted the elemental crystal clutched in Aang's hand. Pointing at the two, he yelled, "Look, over there, that guy's got the elemental crystal." The moment he finished speaking, all eyes were on Aang and Stuffy. Haha, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, this crystal belongs to us 3 brothers now. But the chrome dome next to them chimed in, not if our squad has anything to say about it. Stuffy was filled with self-doubt. Major self-doubt. He was so outmatched. These guys were playing a different game. Darn it, if only I was stronger. I could protect Aang. Just then, Aang struggled to his feet. He gestured for Stuffy to hold onto the crystal. Like, really hold onto it. It was obvious. These 6 were after the shiny thing. No way, they thought. Are these two getting out of here alive? But Stuffy was worried sick about Aang. Dude was barely standing. Aang insisted he could still fight, for now. Suo Ba slowly rose, greatsword in hand. I am a warrior, and as long as I can still move, I will fight to the bitter end. The 6 Wu warriors scoffed. You, a critically injured quad-core warrior. Clearly overestimate yourself. You actually think you can take on the 2 of us? There are 6 of us. Penta-core warriors. Hand over the crystal if you know what's good for you. I'll grant you both a quick death. Aang could feel it acutely. He was unable to awaken the demonic power within. His body simply couldn't handle that immense power. This was going to be a tough fight. Meng stomped, cracking the ground. Fine then, may the best man win. The redstone belongs to whoever grabs it first. Fei suddenly remembered something. This was eerily similar to a dream he'd had. But how will this whole shebang end? Aang, you gotta win this thing. I'm ticked off. Facing a gang of 5 nuclear warriors all ganging up on him. Aang is seriously seeing red. He unleashes his inner demon power. But it's only gonna last for 60 seconds. But in those precious 60 seconds, he's going all out. He'll protect Fei even if it kills him. So, here's the $1,000,000 question. Which one of you knuckleheads wants to go first? Just a moment ago, the battle for the elemental crystal was about to go down. The 5 bald brothers skipped the trash talk. For once, we 3 brothers will wipe them out. The elemental core is ours for the taking. But the triplets were just as determined. Sorry, fellas, but we 3 brothers are calling dibs on this one. Turns out, the triplets already had a buyer lined up. Even if they don't use this elemental core themselves, they could make a killing just by selling it. At this moment, Aang could clearly feel that, if he forced it, the demonic power within his body could only last for a minute at most. This damned body, why did it have to malfunction at this critical moment? But one thing was certain. With this 1 minute, he could ensure Fei's safe and successful escape. Meanwhile, the Baldy squad and the triplet squad charged forward. Aang gripped his greatsword, then glanced reluctantly at Fei. He closed his eyes tightly. Even if it's only for a minute, it's enough to kill you all. With that, he channeled fire energy into the greatsword. Instantly, a surge of Quang Bao energy coursed through his body. But the other side had also sensed it. This terrifying aura on his body. The aura on his body. Why had it suddenly surged several times over? It wasn't until Aang approached them from behind that they discovered. This guy was actually a monstrous hybrid of human and demon. But before they could react, Aang vanished from the spot. The 3 burly brothers immediately activated their sensory enemy searching skills. But in the next second, Aang appeared behind the trio. Instantly, the 3 sensed danger approaching. Just as the third of the triplets turned his head to look, Aang had already attacked beneath him. Look out, one of the burly brothers shouted. But before he could finish, Aang's greatsword pierced his body. Instantly, a spurt of blood gushed from his abdomen. Aang grinned. Let's start with you. Then, it had only taken 5 seconds to kill this man. The eldest and second eldest were still dumbfounded, completely at a loss. It took a whole second for it to sink in. The moment the third brother finished, the other 2 charged at Aang. Kill this demon. Avenge our brother. Aang turned, a slight smirk playing on his lips. You're asking for it. Don't blame me. The greatsword in Aang's hands blurred in a swift arc, a complete circle in a blink. In an instant, the 2 brothers were cleaved in 2. All 3 brothers eliminated. Less than 8 seconds had passed since the countdown began. 5 and Baldy exchanged worried glances. This demon's speed was simply unbelievable. Aang, now consumed by bloodlust, channeled the gold and earth elements within him, unleashing the skill, Thorn Nest. Countless spikes erupted from the earth, impaling the dead brothers and launching them into the air. Baldy and the others were also forced to retreat by the onslaught of thorns. In the blink of an eye, several more of his men were obliterated by the spikes. Such incredible skill and speed. Though those 3 brothers were known for their perception abilities, they were still 5 core warriors. To be wiped out so mercilessly in an instant. What in the world is this thing? If things go south, I might end up biting the dust here today. Aang approached, his greatsword in hand. Green hair beside him refused to believe it. No way, he said. We can't even take down one demon together? Let's unleash our full power and fight this thing. With a roar, Yan Aang charged forward. Alright then, let's give it a shot. But in that moment of charge, a wave of dread washed over Aang. That feeling of powerlessness returned. He could only barely manage to support himself with his greatsword. Damn it, it felt like every organ in his body was about to explode. Blood spurted from his mouth like a busted ketchup packet. Tick-tock, 36 seconds left on the clock. In the distance, Fei was all like, oh snap, things are getting real. He watched the chaos unfold. Dang, looks like Aang's about to lose his cool, and maybe a lung or two. Meanwhile, Five and Baldy finally noticed Aang was, well, let's just say, not feeling so hot. This is my chance, thought Baldy. I can totally snag that core thing. Snatching that warrior chick's core should be a piece of cake. But this dude with the metal skin, he's a wildcard. Total loose cannon. Might explode at any second. Strike while the iron's hot. Or in this case, while the dude's coughing up blood. Let's kick him while he's down. Finish him off. Waste this chump. Baldy charged at Aang like a bull seeing red. Or maybe just a really shiny bald head. Aang gritted his teeth. You wanna dance? Huh? It's gonna cost ya. He slammed his giant weapon into the ground. And bam! Instant force field. Like a 30-foot bubble of, nope. Beefcake Wu and Baldy were practically giddy with excitement. Peeved. A measly little protective shield like this? Child's play. I could smash this thing with my bare hands. Okay, maybe not bare hands. While I'm attacking, Baldy strategized. The rest of you keep pounding on it with your best skills. Non-stop barrage. The 3 of them went at it like a pack of rabid badgers on a caffeine high. But the shield remained stubbornly intact. Not even a scratch. Not a single freaking crack. Wu and Baldy realized this shield was tougher than a week-old steak. Unbreakable, but for some reason, it was absorbing their attacks, almost like it was hungry for them. What in the Sam Hill is going on here? Wu scratched his head. Or at least, where his head would be if it wasn't so shiny. Suddenly, a horrifying thought struck them like a ton of bricks. Oh, snap. It's a trap. Everybody, stop. Abort mission. But just then, Aang let out a sinister chuckle. Well, look who finally caught on. Don't ya think it's a little late for that, fellas? With that, he jammed a giant thingamajig deeper into the ground. Let's just say it was big and important. I'm just gonna return all that lovely energy right back at ya. He roared with triumphant laughter. Mwahahaha. The energy backlash was insane. It instantly sent Baldy and his crew flying like ragdolls. Under the energy's impact, their bodies started to, disintegrate slowly. Gross. Suddenly, this crazy, swirling ball of energy exploded outwards, shooting this terrifying beam of pure power straight into the sky. A squad in the distance saw this crazy energy explosion. Whoa, what was that? That kind of power. It's gotta be the element crystal. They booked it towards Aang's location. As the smoke cleared, there was this massive crater. A mile deep. Baldy and his goons were toast. Literally. Extra crispy. Aang was there. Hands on his knees. Barely kneeling. Dude was wiped. Big Boy Stu flew over to him. All worried. Dude, you okay? When Yanang smiled slightly, he then withdrew the large object from his hand. Barely managed to control the scope of the energy explosion. And its density. As long as you're alright. That's all that matters. As soon as he finished speaking, he collapsed backwards. The sturdy Fei swiftly flew forward and caught Aang. Aang, pull yourself together. I'll get you out of here. Aang forced his eyes open. Fei, you go first. Don't worry about me. The energy surge just now has attracted more warriors and demons. The robust Fei gestured. Don't speak. This time, no matter what, I won't abandon you. You hold the crystal. I'll carry you. You can't always fight alone. Leave the rest to me. Hold on tight. I'll get you out of here. But then Fei started to get a creepy feeling. Like this whole scene was straight out of that weird dream he had. Things are about to get wild. Buckle up. Fei's transformation into black and white Fei? Total freaking mayhem. Fei finally manages to drag Aang to safety. But then things go sideways faster than a greased pig at a county fair. It's like a replay of his dream. Only this time it's in freakin' HD. Two demons pop up, and C2-Face thinking, well, this is how it ends. But plot twist. What happens next? Even he didn't see coming. You wanted her. You got her. The queen you've all been waiting for. Black King Chi. Making her grand entrance. Looking like a total boss babe. Just now, the second C2-Face walked in the door. His spidey sense went off like a klaxon. This is exactly like that crazy dream I had. Hang in there. Aang, I'm gonna get you outta here. I promise. Don't you dare fall asleep. C2-Face was running on fumes. Totally wiped out. But he gritted his teeth and kept dragging Aang along. We got it. We got the crystal. You're gonna be okay. Aang, stay with me. You gotta make it. You're the only reason I'm still going. Open your eyes. Please. Aang, I'm begging you. We finally made it. But before he could finish, Aang's hand went limp in C2-Face. He slumped to the ground with a thud. No. Why? C2-Face struggled to pick up the crystal. He couldn't process what had just happened. He didn't know when it all started. Probably when Aang started fighting back. All of this was exactly like the scene from his dream before. So, next, two demons should appear above him. As expected, two demons were now staring down at him. Before C2-Face could react, they appeared right in front of him, exactly like in the dream. Seeing this, C2-Face paused for a moment. Then, he suddenly sped up, carrying Aang on his back. He charged towards the exit, but in the blink of an eye, the demons were upon him. A mere lone rider, actually trying to claim the elemental crystal for himself? But even so, C2-Face still shielded Aang protectively. One of the demons then stabbed C2-Face in the back, sending him flying. Looking at the two lying on the ground, the demons couldn't help but laugh. He couldn't believe these two clowns actually made it this far. And they even got their hands on the elemental crystal. Talk about humans catching cicadas while the demon roars in the background. Classic. Meanwhile, C2-Face stared at the gaping hole in his chest. His heart, skewered like a kebab by the demon. Ouch. Yeah, that's not gonna buff out. He's toast. But Aang, stubborn as a mule, still tried to crawl up. The demon just casually flicked him back down with his foot. Like swatting a fly. This guy's still breathing. What a tenacious little cockroach. But here's the weird thing. This dude reeks. Like, seriously funky. Makes my demonic nostrils curl. Even now, though, C2-Face was worried about Aang. What a softie. Don't touch him. The demon just rolled his eyes. Like, seriously? You're asking me? I can't stand the stench of this guy. How about we play heads up? But, like, literally. Hearing this, C2-Face disregarded his own safety and scrambled towards Wong. Don't you touch him. You damned demons. Let him go. Hearing this, the blue-haired female demon stood up. My, little girl. You're quite feisty. Such a big temper for someone about to die. With that said, she kicked C2-Face in the chest. The force sent her flying. Damn it, I'm still too weak. I can't protect my teammates. I can't even protect Aang. I'm sorry. Aang. He could only watch helplessly as the two demons tormented Aang, but he still softly said, "Don't touch him. Damn it, I have to protect Aang. It's all my fault. I'm too weak. I'm not giving up. If only I were stronger." But just then, meanwhile, in a nearby space, a swirling vortex of dark energy materialized out of thin air. Like poof. As the vortex spun, everything around it froze. Time out. Then, click-clack, the sound of high heels echoed through the room. Someone's making an entrance. This is such a drag. A voice sighed. It was the Black King Chi. Back for more. Second cameo in this comic? She's getting screen time. Darn it all. She muttered. Red King Chi specifically told me to stay out of it and not help this human warrior. But no, I just had to get involved. This is going to be a headache. But hey, I was just worried about Red King Chi inside that human body. So, I'm sure you won't blame me for this little intervention. Right? Human bodies are just so fragile. Totally not built for my awesome power. By the power of the Crimson King's banner. Logically speaking, this body should have overloaded long ago. But this guy's willpower has kept it going until now. As expected of the strongest human chosen by the king, his willpower is truly astonishing. Right, let's confirm something first. She leans towards Pa Dao Ang's ear and whispers, "Are you there?" Chaik waits for a long time. But there's no response. How annoying. It's rare for me to come see you. But you're still asleep. You haven't woken up yet. She turns around and looks at C2-Face, who is floating in the air. She then walks towards C2-Face and stares directly into his eyes. This girl has a power fluctuation that's very familiar to me. Now this is interesting. His abilities seem even stronger than I anticipated. Plenty strong. But sadly, with his current puny human form, he simply can't unleash the power he's supposed to possess. The Black King widened his eyes in sudden realization. A daring idea popped into his head. Since Wang Qi ordered me not to directly help that kid, couldn't I just be indirect? Black King, you brilliant genius. He raised Situ Fei high in the air. Let me purify you and grant you rebirth. I sense the fluctuations of time and space within you. He gaped, his small, cherry-like mouth wide open. Then, he planted a kiss on Situ Fei's lips. Perfect. I'll give you all of my power. The green core on Situ Fei's chest slowly turned black. As the blackness intensified, a subtle transformation began within his blood. With the core completely blackened, the black core of the four flags was revealed, granting control over space and time. As their lips parted, the Black King, Qi, savored the lingering sensation. Unexpectedly, this body can withstand so much power. Excellent. Your desire for strength is impressive. Then I'll be counting on you. As he spoke, a blue portal materialized out of thin air. With the portal's closure, the Black King, Qi, vanished. The demon and Situ Fei on the field sprang into action. Situ Fei slammed into the ground as the demon's spike hurtled towards Aang's head. But out of nowhere, a severed hand appeared, grabbing the spike. The demon was taken aback. What in the world is that thing? It wondered. Hearing the commotion, the demon looked back. That's impossible. But just as it spoke, a voice emerged from the dust cloud. I said before, don't touch him. A figure emerged, hair half black. It was indeed Situ Fei, now wielding some of the Black King's power. At this moment, he had evolved into the demonic Four Horsemen form, Black and White Fei, possessing the ability to control time and space. He's evolved. Situ Fei has finally evolved into Black and White Fei, a being with the same constitution as Aang, but unlike Aang and the explosive power of the Red King piece, this was more like the Black King piece's control over time and space. Faced with the attack of two monstrous demons, he simply raised a hand, ever so slightly, and the vicious creatures instantly split in two. Sorry, I'm not one of you. I am a demon warrior, the Black and White Queen. Just moments before, when Situ Fei obtained the demonic power of the Black King piece, he immediately warned the two demons not to touch Aang. But the demons, unimpressed, simply stared at where the Black and White Queen stood. At that moment, the Black and White Queen revealed her true form. Try touching him again. I dare you. As she spoke, a black claw reached out from thin air. The two demons were instantly taken aback. Like, whoa. Hold up a sec, because they sensed a familiar aura radiating from Black and White Concubine. Like, wait, are you one of us? Black and White Concubine sashayed forward like, honey, please, I'm not in the same league as you demonic dumpster fires. The demons thought she was just frontin'. All talk and no trousers. Listen, whoever you think you are, today's your expiration date. Boom. Water demon throws a watery haymaker, aiming straight for Black and White Concubine. But she just stood there. Didn't even flinch. Total boss move. She just slowly extends her right hand, and bam, a freaking cubic energy force field appears right above the water demon's head. Smash. Water demon goes down hard. Ground and pound. Suddenly, the demon gets it. Light bulb moment. Wait a minute. You control space? No fair. Dang it. I'm stuck. Can't move. But don't get cocky. Lady, that little trick isn't gonna kill me. I've got more hit points than that. The monochrome concubine grinned wickedly. Did someone tell you there was only one? Open your peepers wide and get a good look. Suddenly, countless cubic blocks materialized, hovering menacingly above the demon. With a swift downward wave of her hand, a series of asterisk thuds echoed as the cubes plummeted with pinpoint accuracy onto the unsuspecting demon. As the dust settled, only a gaping chasm remained where the demon once stood. Talk about a hole in one. The other demon trembled, his bravado replaced with a healthy dose of fear. After all, he'd just witnessed his buddy get cratered without leaving so much as a smudge. Not even a demon dust bunny. Poof. Gone. The concubine's eyes turned icy. You're next, she said with a chilling calmness. Prepare to be cubed. Forget fighting back. This demon was all about self-preservation. He scrambled backwards, desperate to avoid a similar fate. She looked like a harmless human. But this lady radiated pure, unadulterated, don't mess with me, energy. Didn't even dare to think about resisting. Suddenly, the demon spoke. Hold on a sec, I'm super confused. Who the heck are you two? Your powers. You're clearly one of us. And a rare spatial ability at that. But this sidekick of yours, he's got something that's giving me the serious heebie-jeebies. Spill the beans. What in the world are you? Hearing this, Black and White Princess coldly replied, "We're humans, human warriors." Hearing this answer, the demon was totally incredulous. "Human warriors? Yeah, right." The demon burst into laughter. "That's a good one. You almost had me going there. Do you even believe that yourself? Just a moment ago, you went from 1 chi to freaking 4 chi instantly." No sooner had the words left his mouth than the demon's head was split in two. Like a bad watermelon. "You were so annoying." With the demon dispatched, the two were left alone. Awkward. Black and White Concubine gently caressed Aang's cheek. "Smooth move. You always saved me, protected me. Now it's my turn to return the favor." Damsel in distress no more. She eyed the elemental crystal lying on the ground. Shiny. Space hand activate. Because why not? The crystal zipped into her hand. Like magic. Or space hand. She placed it on Aang. "Power up. We can get out of here now." Finally, as the warning lights of Bone Burial Castle flashed. Because of course they did. Two guards nervously watched the situation unfold. "Is that a disco?" After checking their fancy tech Y device, human detected. "Well, that's reassuring. It's a warrior returning from the burial valley. Welcome back, champ." As the gate slowly opened, creak, a pair of woman's feet came into view. Nice shoes. Then, Situ Fei, back in human form. Ta-da. With Aang's arrival, Situ Fei had used the last ounce of his strength. "We're back." He collapsed the moment he finished speaking. Two guards rushed forward to help. "Quick, take him to the medical room." But in the next second, the guards were stunned by what they saw behind them. "Wait, look at the gate. Behind. Oh my god, what in the world is this? These are demons, crushed by spatial force. How did they get here?" Just then, a voice echoed in Situ Fei's mind. "I knew I wasn't wrong. You're a perfect fit for my power. Little girl, you possess dormant precognitive abilities. Intriguing. I eagerly anticipate their awakening." Startled by the voice, Situ Fei abruptly awoke. He glanced at the ceiling above the cot. "This appears to be the infirmary outside the city. It seems we've been rescued. That was just a dream. But who was that woman in the dream?" He instinctively touched his wounds, only to find they were completely healed. What in the world happened? The intense grief felt as though it never existed. Moreover, he couldn't recall any memories after entering the ancient buried castle. The more he tried to remember, the more his head throbbed. That part of his memory was shrouded in a dark fog. Just then, a sheet was draped over Situ Fei. "Thank you for rescuing me." Situ Fei glanced up and saw it was Aang. He had absolutely zero recollection of what Aang was talking about. Aang had to patiently explain. Those who followed us said, "You insisted on carrying me to the door." The amazing Situ Fei. Situ Fei finally remembered something. From Aang's injury to encountering the demon, his mind had been consumed with worry for Aang's safety. He looked at Aang with concern. "Are you alright? Are you okay now?" Aang stretched out his hand. "See? Good as new. Just a few scratches left. I'm sorry, Fei. I promised. But I started feeling unwell back in the castle. For the elemental core, we almost lost our lives." Situ Fei anxiously asked. "By the way, the elemental crystal?" When Yanang pulled the elemental crystal from his bosom. "Don't worry. It's safe with me. When I woke up, I found it in my clothes. You must have put it there. Right? Thanks. That was very thoughtful of you." Hearing this, Situ Fei drew a blank. "Did I put it there? I don't remember anything about that." Yanang said. "Focus on recovering first." In short, we achieved our goal at Bone Burial Castle. Now we need to find a safe place to refine the core. With that said, Situ Fei prepared to get up. "Once we're discharged, we can leave." When Yanang simply grunted in agreement. But he had a feeling. Some funky stuff happened to Stuffy while he was out cold. During his nap time, Stuffy. Well, what the heck happened to him in that castle? Why's he suddenly rocking? The same demonic vibe as the bad guys? Think they accidentally gave Stuffy the ultimate sidekick a super duper power up? Dude's not only got the Black King's time bending, space warping skills, but he also got a surprise identity reveal. Turns out, he's the freaking daughter of Herlos City's richest dude. Casually drops 1.2 million in battle funds. Like it's nothing. Everyone's jaw hit the floor. Even 0. Aang's feeling the awkward burn. And get this, to figure out this new mystery power he's got cookin', Stuffy's gonna have to throw down. Time to learn by doing. Mastered and controlled it. Thus, Situ Fei gained a new identity. The arena's female warrior. Rakshasa Cat. Just now, the two prepared to head to the nearest town. Situ Fei looked at Aang and said, "You need a secluded place to smoothly refine the elemental crystal." Aang agreed. Concentration is key when refining the crystal. No distractions. According to the demon, Aang could wield all elemental powers. This crystal was the final piece he needed. If he successfully fused all 5 elements, and then used the crystal to combine them, fuse them together, what would happen? This was C2Faye's suggestion. My old pops told me something once about Class B towns and above. They sometimes rent out training rooms, usually for warriors who need a place to, get their warrior on. Might just be what you're looking for. Speaking of which, up ahead, bingo, a Class B town, Salamanca City, built like some old school architectural throwback, but it's a modern trading hub. Fancy, huh? Place is buzzing, popular joint, and most of these folks ain't local warriors. Tourists, maybe? C2Faye's curiosity was piqued. Dude was all like, why are these warriors all lined up like they're at a buffet? What's the dealio? Wen Yanang chuckled. City boy like you knows about formations? Impressive. These guys are usually roaming around outside the towns. No fixed address. Nomads. Basically. But with swords. Their main gig is scavenging and looting, usually rolling in squads like a pack of hungry wolves. These guys are seriously hardcore. Their skills are razor sharp, armed to the teeth and organized like a SWAT team. They're not messing around. Salamanca might be a B-list town, a real dump, but it's a rare trading post. Like finding a diamond in a pile of, well, you get it. So, naturally, it's crawling with other factions and lone wolf warriors looking to score. A place called the Super Training Room popped up out of nowhere. But the boss needed stations, something Aang had never even heard of. The boss was all like, are you kidding me? You serious? A warrior who doesn't know about stations? What a noob. Stations are like warrior cash. Dude, it's how you buy stuff. Like, everywhere? Any city? And you're supposed to be some hotshot quad-core warrior? How can you not know this? Seriously? Are you even a real warrior or just playing dress-up? Then C2Faye points at this little gadget. Like, wanna see how many stations you're packing? Tough guy? Actually, it's super easy. Just scan your finger on this thingy. In Aang's past life, there wasn't much fighting going on. Stuff was distributed fairly based on need. You just had to ask the higher-ups. You just had to apply to your superiors. Aang marveled at how quickly times had changed. Aang was like, whoa, things have changed fast. So he put his finger on it. So he went for it. But the result showed only 0.1. But the screen flashed a big ol' 0.1. The onlookers immediately started mocking him. The peanut gallery erupted in laughter. Is this kid here to mess with us? Is this dude for real? With 0 points. What's he doing trying to rent a training room? 0 points. Trying to rent a training room? Good one. Dude, you got played by this newbie. Bro, you got schooled by a noob. As soon as these words were spoken, the second he said that, the owner immediately became furious. The owner flipped his lid. Do you think it's funny to mess with me? You think you're funny, punk? You want to rent a training room with no points? No points. No training room. Chump, I think you're deliberately here to cause trouble. You're just here to stir the pot. Aren't you? Aang was scolded and humiliated. Unable to say a word. Aang got chewed out and couldn't even squeak. Am I this poor in this life? Dang, am I always gonna be broke? Like, this is totally normal, right? But the next second, the owner's jaw dropped. Available balance. 1.2 million credits. C2Faye said coldly. Get me the biggest room you have. 1.2 million. Enough to buy this whole place and still have some left over for a celebratory pizza. C2Faye gave the owner a look. Chop chop. Let's go. Turns out, C2Faye's dad had another little title. Richest dude in her low city. The owner's attitude did a 180. My dearest, most beautiful and exquisite customer. Right this way, please. Aang spoke up. I knew you were loaded. But dang, son, you're swimming in cash. C2Faye said his dad always told him to keep it low-key. Yeah, right. They arrived at the biggest training room. This place was huge, like 2.000 square feet huge. Walls, floor, ceiling, all made of super tough stuff. No flimsy drywall here. And check it out. It's got a balcony, perfect for chillin' when you're not busy pumping iron. And if it's in the way during your workout, bam, it goes underground, hidden like a ninja. So, whatcha think? Pretty sweet training room, huh? Aang does a 360 spin, nods, and gives a thumbs up. Word. Alright boss, if you're all good, you can bounce. Aang, you get your swole on in here. I'm gonna scoot and explore. Won't cramp your style. Gonna grab a room nearby. Gotta recharge after these past few cray days. Before leaving, Aang's like, yo, it's getting chilly out here. Here, borrow my super cozy jacket. But C2Faye's all, nah, I'm good. Your jacket's kinda gross. Then Aang slowly pulls out the crystal. Like a boss, he's gotta level up. And fast. Gotta be strong enough to rescue Dexia. The dude got his arms and legs busted up for defying the new king. And those 6 new dukes are no joke. Especially that new king with his triple core power. Yikes, you'll pay for this. Just wait until I'm stronger. This whole demonic power trip has shown me one thing. I can't rely on demonic handouts forever. I need to get seriously swole on my own. First, I'll harness the earth element, then fuse all 5. It'll be like Captain Planet. But way more evil. He pulled the element core from his bag. Alright, core, time to shine. Answer my call. Element core. The core erupted in blinding light. Talk about a glow up. Meanwhile, Fei was having his own moment. As he journeyed, weird memories of bone-burying castle kept flashing back. Deja vu much? Something was definitely up with him. Like, hidden power levels up. He'd suddenly unlocked some serious power. Talk about a lucky break. His strength quadrupled. Instant badass mode activated. This new power felt intense and kinda unfamiliar. He craved battle, craved strength. Someone get this guy a protein shake. A voice whispered in his ear. All dark and mysterious. It sounded like another Fei? Creepy twin alert. What the heck was going on inside him? Could this be the result of his intense desire for power? But what kind of power is it exactly? And this power, he can't fully control it yet. Up ahead, he spots an arena. A battlefield for warriors. He decides to head to the arena to test his strength. Because the warriors belong to different factions, the arena rankings are even more enticing. Only through combat can he familiarize himself with and master this mysterious power. Regardless of what that thing inside him is, it's difficult. But one thing Fei doesn't doubt. Fighting makes you stronger. But if he's going to participate in the arena, it's best to conceal his identity. He remembers the festive masks sold on the streets. That way, no one will recognize him. He doesn't want to be a burden to Aang anymore. Nor does he want to be looked down upon by anyone. Human or demon. If there truly is some kind of mysterious power awakening within me, then I'm gonna freaking unleash it. Immediately, a terrifying power surged from within Fei. Erupting outward, he transformed once again, on the spot, into the mighty black and white fury. Meanwhile, the ringmaster was still counting his dough for the day, when suddenly a voice boomed beside him. Hey, boss man, how do I sign up for this smackdown? The ringmaster's ears perked up. Cha-ching. Business opportunity. Lady brawlers were a rare sight in the ring. What's your skill level, Missy? He asked, rubbing his hands together. Or, a name or nickname would work too. Black and White Fury pondered for a moment. 4 horseman level, she declared. And as for a name, call me Rakshasa Cat. We've got a winner. She's climbed to the top. Fei's first time in the ring was about to be legendary. Immediately took the top spot in the women's division. Her opponent was also a powerful, formidable female fighter, considered a goddess by everyone in the audience, with a dazzling display of zero flower. She was a sight to behold. As soon as they entered, both unleashed a powerful aura. Amidst the dazzling flowers, let me show you. The next second, the entire audience was stunned. Fei knocked Zero Flower down with a single punch. Don't insult the word warrior. Just then, the owner said respectfully, the Salamanca Arena welcomes you. Will you be participating today? Fei replied that she was ready anytime. The owner's eyes crinkled into a smile. It's been a while since a new female warrior has entered the arena. The male fighter roster is already set. If things go well, we'll be swimming in dough. He then yelled to the attendant, what are you waiting for? Take this female fighter to register. Seeing this, the attendant gestured to Fei invitingly. Honored Rakshasa Cat, please follow me. After registering Fei's information, he began to explain the arena rules. Fei said, just call me Rakshasa Cat. No need for such formalities. The attendant grinned. Alright, I'll call you Sister Rakshasa Cat then. Fei replied, whatever makes you happy. Then she asked, what's the highest level of competing fighters here? The attendant replied, currently, the highest is 5 core fighters. But that's only for the male fighter arena. And the highest level for female fighters in the arena, just like you, is level 4 warrior. Fei was confused why there was a distinction between male and female arenas. The attendant explained, many male warriors participate in the arena, but very few female warriors do. There was a time before, when men and women competed together. However, the male warriors were reluctant to fight against female warriors. It was said that losing was shameful and winning was awkward. Therefore, they were eventually separated. Gradually, very few female warriors participated, but Fei believed that strength determines victory or defeat, and there's no such thing as shame. Anyone who says such things is definitely a self-righteous weakling. Upon hearing this, the attendant was secretly startled. This young lady is so cool. Sister Rosa Cat, you're right, but the winner is determined by true skill. In no time, Situ Fei was brought to the female warrior arena. As soon as she entered, the arena erupted in a cacophony of cheers and shouts. Situ Fei looked up at the sound, and was surprised by the sheer number of people. If she hadn't been wearing a mask, she would have been incredibly anxious. The attendant told her to go ahead and step into the ring. Go, sis, you got this, there's a hefty prize for the winner. But Situ Fei, being the daughter of the richest man, had no desire for money whatsoever. So she asked, besides the prize money, is there any other reward? The attendant replied, there's also a ranking on the arena leaderboard. It's a kind of honor. Hearing this, Situ Fei said, that's enough for me, no problem. What's more important than a warrior's honor? Apparently, a little accidental, Situ Fei just ed his way into brushing his face against, well, let's just say someone's face. Our server went full tomato. Like, instantly. Boom. Red face. Is this love? Cue romantic music. Fast forward like 30 minutes. Half an hour, however you measure time. The arena's loudspeaker goes, blar, and everyone's like, what up, distinguished guests, high rollers, low rollers, people who roll, you're in for a treat tonight. Feast your eyes. Our Lady Warrior Arena. Because who doesn't love Lady Warriors? Has a fresh new face. Probably from all that blushing earlier. Give it up for, drumroll please, our 4-in-1 warrior. 4-in-1? What a bargain. Rosa Cat drops the mic, not literally. Microphones are expensive, and the crowd goes wild. Like, seriously bananas. It's been ages since we've had a Lady Warrior throwdown. Less talk, more fighting. Someone yells. They're not wrong. Situ Fei didn't expect the Lady Arena audience to be this enthusiastic. Understatement of the century. Guess there's a lot of lady warriors itching for a rumble. But he was quite curious about the male warrior arena, wondering what was going on. At this moment, the host continued, it seems everyone can't wait any longer. So let's welcome our other contestant. Also our only remaining female warrior. Our arena goddess. Hearing this, Situ Fei was dumbfounded. What? Only one female warrior left in the female warrior arena? He glanced at the leaderboard. Indeed, there was only one name. Let's welcome our arena goddess, the dazzling Ling Hua. The audience instantly became excited. Finally, they could watch the beautiful Ling Hua fight again. Ling Hua, my goddess. Seeing this, Situ Fei was speechless. Finally, he understood why no female warriors participated in the arena. Because the female warrior arena had become, how uninspired, so cliché, lame. Lin Hua smiled at Situ Fei. So, you're my opponent. Indeed, pleased to meet ya. The pleasure's all mine. Or is it yours? Let's have a good match. Don't hold back. I'm Skylar. Of the magnificent spirit blossom. I'm Skylar. And these petals ain't just for show. Situ Fei didn't respond. Situ Fei just stared blankly. Crickets chirping. Since his last awakening, he could clearly feel a strong spatio-temporal power. He was feeling some serious spacetime mojo. But he needed a lot of actual combat to be sure. Needed to put that mojo to the test. But faced with this vase-like female warrior, this chick looked like she belonged in a museum, not a battlefield. Situ Fei had no desire to fight at all. Situ Fei was about as motivated as a sloth on a Sunday. But then Lin Hua suddenly spoke. But then Skylar piped up. A rare masked black river warrior. Ooh, a masked man of mystery. I'm quite curious about you. Little Rakshasa cat. Color me intrigued by that kitty mask. If you lose, you have to take off your mask. Time to unmask yourself. Handsome. That's our little agreement. Consider it a sisterly request, with consequences. As soon as she said this, the atmosphere instantly reached a climax. Things got real interesting. Real fast. The crowd went wild. Linghua. Linghua. I love you. Linghua. To this, Situ Fei reacted as if watching a comedy. This chick is seriously putting on a show. Since we're both quadruple element warriors, let's have a proper brawl. With that said, a dark green energy erupted from him. But Linghua wasn't about to back down. A blue energy surged forth from her. Rakshasa cat versus the dazzling Linghua. Let the battle begin. Situ Fei was ready to face the enemy. But who would have thought Linghua would start acting up again? This made Situ Fei completely dumbfounded. Are you ready to witness my beautiful dance? As soon as she finished speaking, Linghua actually started dancing in the arena. Let romance fill the stage. Wherever it touches, beautiful flowers will bloom. Seeing this, the crowd went wild. Screams echoed through the arena. It's Linghua's signature move. The legendary Ling Hua's whisper. We're in for a treat. Folks, Ling Hua is absolutely stunning. Let the dance continue. Go Ling Hua. But Situ Fei suddenly stopped his attack. He's just standing there. The audience thought Situ Fei was scared stiff. Is he giving up against such a powerful attack? Is this the end? Has he thrown in the towel? Ling Hua smiled sweetly and continued. Amidst these dazzling blossoms, allow yourself to truly feel me. Feel my power. But before she could finish, bam! Situ Fei landed a knockout punch. Ling Hua went flying. Holy crap. The crowd's jaws dropped. Even the announcer was speechless. And the waiter? Dude's eyes were practically popping out of his head. Because Situ Fei only used a swarm of whatever the heck those things are to beat Lin Hua into a frothing, unconscious mess. She looked anything but like a goddess. More like a spilled milkshake. In Situ Fei's eyes, Lin Hua was even more pathetic than that loser. Wula Xiao. And that's saying something. Dude was a walking dumpster fire. He couldn't even sense a single shred of warrior spirit in her. Zip. Zero. Nada. Even her skills were just for show. All flash and no bang. Total poser. Because of people like you. He sneered. Female warriors get no respect. Mic drop, except there was no mic. Boom. Roasted. The crowd went dead silent. You could hear a cricket fart. Warriors are meant to fight. Someone yelled. Show some respect. Don't you dare insult the word warrior. Don't underestimate warriors. You jerk. After a moment of deep thought, worthy of Socrates himself, a random waiter dude was like, man, Rakshasa cat lady has it rough. Rakshasa cat lady, you're the bomb. And with that, he started cheering his head off. Like a total fanboy. The crowd went wild, and the audience seemed to reflect that. Then one guy grabbed his Linghua t-shirt, like it was on fire. Ripped it off without a second thought. Not only did he swap it for a Luosha cat shirt, but he also held up a Luosha cat sign, and started screaming his lungs out. Luosha cat, Luosha cat. The boss came running out, all flustered, and declared Luosha cat the winner right then and there. Talk about a surprise upset. How incredibly awesome is that? Let's all congratulate him on taking the top spot. But Situ Fei just scoffed and said, this competition is a total joke. Child's play. A one-person lei tai, fighting ring. Please, cancel it. I'm going to the men's warrior lei tai. The boss, Wenyan, practically jumped out of his skin. Say that again? Situ Fei enunciated each word carefully. I want to fight in the men's warrior lei tai. It was his first time eating a candied hawthorn, but he even chewed up and swallowed the wooden stick. Because in his eyes, the stick was even more delicious than the candied hawthorn. It turned out he wasn't human at all, but a demon with some kind of supernatural power. Meanwhile, Situ Fei finally made it onto the male warriors arena, and his opponent was a powerful, agile, four-element male warrior. With one punch, the opponent smashed Situ Fei into the ground. But what will the final outcome be? Let's wait and see. Just now, the scene shifted to the Salamanca city marketplace. A man in a jade robe had a little girl sitting on his shoulder. This strange attire immediately attracted the attention of passers-by. Look, that man is strolling around in just a jade robe. The one on his shoulder must be his daughter. Some think it's his younger sister. The guy looks to be in his early 20s. But the man in the jade robe whispers, infiltration successful. The little girl on his shoulder suddenly focuses her gaze and points to some candied hawthorns. I want to eat that. I hear they're sweet and sour and invigorating. The vendor lady rushes over to serve them. My candied hawthorns are the sweetest in all of Salamanca. The sweetest. You'll definitely want seconds. But the jade-robed man and the little girl don't respond. The little girl just stretches out her hands, insisting, I want to eat. Without a word, the jade-robed man picks up the entire stick of candied hawthorns. He says with a grin, if you want to eat them, you can have them all. The vendor lady is completely dumbfounded. But then, the jade-robed man prepares to leave without paying. This should keep your belly full for tonight. Let's see what other fun things we can find. This whole operation left the young stall owner completely dumbfounded, so she shouted after them, wait a minute, you seem to have forgotten to pay. Hearing this, the man in the jade robe suddenly stopped. The little girl turned her head, staring coldly at the stall owner. The stall owner said angrily, what are you looking at? Are you planning to eat without paying? What's so great about being strong? Believe it or not, I'll beat you up. I used to be a Lei Tai fighter. The man in the jade robe opened his mouth slightly. The human world is so troublesome. His eyes suddenly became strangely eerie. The stall owner suddenly became petrified. The dude in the fancy jade robe just whispered, let's bounce. The stall owner lady looked like she'd seen a ghost. Totally spooked. She just shuffled off like a zombie. Back to her booth. Meanwhile, the little munchkin was chowing down on candied fruit. Like it was no big deal. But then she dropped a bomb that made everyone's jaws drop. "Hey, Vice Captain," she says. Like, Captain level fighters are already duking it out. And we're just chilling in the city. Wasting some random human soldiers. And everyone's freaking out. Robe dude just closed his eyes like, seriously? Humans are such scaredy cats. I swear, when you finish your mission, let's paint the town orange. Whatever that means. Little Miss Munchkin's face lit up like a Christmas tree. Paint it orange. Paint it orange. I want to paint it orange. She was so hyped she even swallowed her candied fruit stick whole. And before you know it, it was showtime at the arena again. Alright folks, feast your eyes on this. We've got a lady warrior throwing down the gauntlet, demanding to rumble in the men's arena. This is a first, folks, a historical throwdown, never before seen in the annals of, well, ever. Eyes to my right. Ladies and gents, let's give a big round of applause for our challenger. Riding in on her trusty steed, the fearsome 4-core black, it's the lady warrior. Rakshasa cat, and the crowd goes wild. The place is going bonkers. Rakshasa cat, Rakshasa cat, Rosa, wait, Rakshasa cat, this is totally wicked awesome. Our esteemed commentator chimes in. Initially, the fellas weren't exactly lining up to get their butts kicked. After a little huddle and some serious pep talking, we finally found a volunteer. Give it up for our brave contestant. Riding a 4-core white, it's the man, the myth, the legend, Iron Hand Razor. Razor's got that steely-eyed look. Folks, he means business. Both warriors rocking those quad-core processors. And get this, it's a rare black versus white core showdown. Our commentator lays down the law, explaining the rules of engagement. Don't cripple your opponent, and definitely don't turn them into a sworn enemy. Now, let's move on to the handshake. Razor slowly extends his right hand. It's a pleasure to meet you. Rocha cat, if the boss hadn't promised a bonus, I wouldn't be shaking hands with a she-warrior like you. Can we talk about this? Hearing this, Situfei's outstretched hand suddenly stops. Razor says coldly, let's just go easy on each other. How about we call it a draw? That way you save face. And I avoid embarrassment. Situfei doesn't respond. Razor says fiercely, am I not being clear enough? Situfei turns and walks away dismissively. You won't even shake my hand? Razor is left hanging, feeling quite humiliated. Well, looks like you've dug your own grave. Pal, can't say I didn't warn ya. Screw the rules. I'm not playing by anyone's book. Sound of shattering concrete as he stomps the ground. Surprise. Mother F asterisk 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 asterisk. Razor launches a surprise attack from behind. Situfei didn't expect that sneaky little ninja move from Razor. Talk about a cheap shot. Luckily, he'd already gone full beast mode. Black and white flying state. With a slick sidestep, he dodged the attack like a boss. Razor, ever the cheeky one, quipped, like my blade. Pretty boy? Another attack, this time aimed at Situfei's chest. Gonna carve you up like a Thanksgiving turkey. Razor boasted, time to say goodbye to your upper body. Situfei couldn't react in time. Oh snap. And he gets slammed into the ground like a pancake. Ouch. The crowd goes wild. Holy moly. What just happened? Did she just kill him? No way. OMG. There's a dead body in the ring. Razor was cocky as hell, thinking one hit would send his opponent straight to the shadow realm. Like, boom, headshot, kinda confident. Finito. Sure, maybe killing someone outright wasn't exactly allowed asterisk in the ring, but Razor wasn't exactly a rules are my jam kinda guy. More like, rules are for suckers. Piss him off and your life expectancy drops faster than a Bitcoin in a bear market. He's all smug, picturing the victory celebration, when bam, out of nowhere, a slender hand, like something out of a fancy perfume ad, pops up right in front of his face. Razor's like, whoa, Nelly, total freakout. He backpedals faster than a politician caught in a lie. What in the actual heck? He's probably thinking, is there, like, another dude in the ring I missed? But then, everyone's jaws hit the floor because Rakshasa cat, who was just sliced and diced like a veggie platter, is suddenly back in one piece. Like magic, the crowd's losing it. What the fresh hell is this cat? Did this furry freak have a get-out-of-jail-free card up its sleeve? Situfei just smirks, all devilish-like. Pops was right, he thinks. Turns out, near-death experiences are great for unlocking hidden talents. The crowd went absolutely wild. The energy in the arena was electric. Is this the power of Rakshasa Cat's Black River? What kind of sorcery is this? Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. This is incredible. Rosa cat. Rakshasa cat. What a name. What a cat. And C2Fei's Black River ability immediately caught Razor's attention. He wanted in on the action. Gotta get my hands on that power, Razor thought, scheming away. Suddenly, bam! A swift attack came out of nowhere. Turns out, he used his agile core skill, training shot technique. Fancy, he moved so fast. He left afterimages, like a ninja, but C2Fei just calmly closed his eyes. What's he up to? Left fist cocked, like he's drawing a bow. Then a right hook. Boom! If he dodges both of those, C2Fei thought, my final punch will be a real doozy. Full power. Uppercut. And with that, he opened his eyes with a flash. Razor was stunned. What the? How did he know what I was thinking? But the next second shocked him even more. Just as he was about to charge, a hand suddenly appeared and gripped his arm tightly. Before Razor could react, C2Fei attacked him from above, grabbing his right arm and firmly controlling both of Razor's hands. With a powerful kick, he slammed Razor to the ground. Blood spurted from Razor's mouth. Dealing with you is actually quite simple. Just need to control your hands. Success. While C2Fei was at the South Station, the boxing ring was witnessing a triumphant rise. Wild, finally fused with the last bone. Woohoo! Elemental control achieved, but still not on my own steam. Dang it, human breathing techniques are useless. These crystals don't respond to Lama's classes. Gotta get stronger without relying on that demonic power. But evil is the only way to sense these crystals' power. Talk about a catch-22. So, in the end, still gotta rely on that freaky king's power inside me. Little does he know, Robe Dude is watching, like a creepy stalker. But Robe Dude thinks he's just being paranoid. Spoiler alert, he's not. Little Bean, you ready to rumble? Let the joyous city smashing commence. Someone's got issues. Meanwhile, Razor's got a serious case of the post-beatdown grumps. What in the world is your power? We're the same level. But nobody puts Razor in a corner. Famous last words. C2Fei's hands darted towards his chest. Aiming for vital points, C2Fei coldly uttered, your rhythm is off. Only then did Razor realize that his left arm was paralyzed, numbed by a precisely placed strike. This isn't the Green River fighting style. How could a Black River fighter like him use it? But Razor was a seasoned warrior, a veteran of countless battles. You think you can beat me barehanded? Don't be so arrogant. With that, his right hand materialized a spare fist weapon. The owner and MC, Yi Jane, exclaimed. As expected of Razor with a 42% synchronization rate, he can control two weapons simultaneously. Just as he finished speaking, Razor's right fist slammed towards C2Fei's face. C2Fei remained unmoved. As a black void slowly materialized before him, a hand appeared beneath Razor's foot. Another hand grabbed his arm. Razor was completely dumbfounded. Not only was his attack effortlessly neutralized, but he was pushed back off balance. He stumbled backward, completely bewildered. So that's how it is. Only then did C2Fei understand the ability he possessed, manipulating space, glimpsing the future. Meanwhile, the boss observed C2Fei's every move. Luo Xiaomao's synchronization rate was skyrocketing. In his hand, he held an expensive, high-precision synchronization detector. Although not as accurate as lab equipment, its portability made it popular. His synchronization rate was already a high 42%. But now it had suddenly surged to 64%, and it was still climbing. At that moment, in C2Fei's mind, flashes of fragmented images zipped through his mind, and then, it all came flooding back. Every gruesome detail of Bone Burial Castle, the reason for his bizarre, uncanny abilities, all thanks to that she-devil witch. Seriously, what a pain. That infernal woman was responsible for the creation of the fearsome four horsewomen. Meanwhile, Razor, once brimming with pre-battle swagger, now looked like someone stole his lunch money. And his dignity. How is your synchronization rate so high? Who are you? Before he could finish, bam, a blue spatial dome materialized above him. Talk about a bad hair day. Razor gaped, momentarily stunned. To be fair, who wouldn't be? Resistance was futile. He was toast. The next second, he was slammed into the ground like a meteor. Ouch, the crowd gasped, jaws hitting the floor. Good heavens, what in the world was that power? Is this Rakshasa cat seriously this strong? Razor, still dazed, wiped the dirt from his mouth. Damn it, I'm number 10 on the male leaderboard. How can I lose to this female warrior? I'd rather die than yield. C2Fei, however, had a look of disdain. Since you're so full of hot air. With that, he increased the pressure of the spatial confinement. Then today, I shall grant your wish. Just as C2Fei was about to unleash his final blow, Razor on the field instantly surrendered. Auntie, I surrender. I surrender. From now on, I, Razor, will be known as Soft-Edged Razor. Boss Shi excitedly announced the results. To think that Razor, known for being a tough guy, would actually surrender. This is truly unbelievable. Such a handsome Rakshasa cat. Congratulations to Rakshasa cat for winning this arena match. Suddenly, the arena erupted in a tsunami of cheers. Rakshasa cat, sister, slay me. Boss Shi gestured towards Situfei, aka Rakshasa cat, and asked, well, hotshot, you feeling lucky? Wanna keep this party going? What's it gonna be? Lay it on us. Situfei, cool as a cucumber, slowly turned his head and just stared. Alright, drama queen, bring on the next challenger. The crowd went absolutely bonkers. We're talking full on pandemonium. Rakshasa cat's going for another round. This guy's insane. He's so freaking awesome. Go Rakshasa cat, go, go, go. Fireworks exploded overhead. Because why not? It was like New Year's Eve in freaking July. Let's watch Rakshasa cat fight till the break of dawn. Meanwhile, back at the training grounds, our man Xing was huffing and puffing like he'd run a marathon. What the heck? I've been at this for hours, and I still can't feel a single darn elemental vibe. Not even a little wiggle from that crystal. Normal earth magic won't cut it. This thing's stubborn, but in my past life, I've got zero experience with this kind of thing. This whole element fusion business. It's only in this life that I've even encountered this new type of power. And now he's after the last one. The earth element. If all 5 elements exist in one body, the power gained would be unimaginable. But just then, he suddenly seemed to realize something. Demonic elemental power. What if this so-called elemental power is derived from demonic power? Maybe human earth magic won't work on it. Does that mean I have to use my demon form to actively sense the power within it? This is incredibly ironic. I wanted to be strong on my own, not rely on demonic power. But in the end, I still have to rely on it. After Tang transformed into his demon form, suddenly, a terrifying energy surged from within him, turning the sturdy training room into a dilapidated mess. Suddenly, a massive surge of earth elemental power erupted from the ground, materializing into a giant, ethereal hand that appeared before Aang. It then transformed into wisps of energy, flowing into his body. Aang grinned. Power of the ancients, I feel you. Meanwhile, in the distance, the jade-robed man seemed to have noticed this as well. The little girl on his shoulder asked, puzzled, what's wrong? It turned out the jade-robed man's name was Ji Nio, wise bird. He pondered for a moment. Nothing, perhaps I'm overthinking it. But Xiaoduzi, little bean, are you ready? I've been training you since Erqi, 2 flags. I've always had high hopes for you. Don't disappoint me. If you complete this mission successfully, you'll earn the qualification to advance to Wu Kai. Wenyan Xiaoduzi squeezed his eyes shut, but a second later, he suddenly opened them. Yes, I'm ready. With that, a surge of purple energy erupted from his body. Let the city-wide slaughter begin. It's showdown time. Stuffy is finally going head-to-head with the number 1 ranked fighter. After he consecutively defeated several level 4 male fighters, a heavy thud echoed as a menacing club cracked the ground. Yin Feiying emerged from behind Stuffy, exuding a terrifying killing intent. He was on a completely different level compared to the previous fighters. Even the level 4 fighters were instantly drenched in cold sweat at the sight of him. He is the current arena champion, Lulin Wuja Kainuo, known as the strongest among the free fighters. The most formidable penta-core warrior exists. Rumor has it, he was once a ruthless, cold-blooded killer in the ranks. He also wants to see for himself the difference between himself and a penta-core warrior. How will Stuffy face this formidable opponent? Just now, Stuffy immediately launched into a fiery arena battle. I hear there's an amazing female warrior, single-handedly challenging the male arena. Truly unprecedented, a legend in the making. She's undefeated in several matches so far. Gotta go check it out. The waiter reports to the boss. Feels like the whole city's here. Not enough seats. The boss jumps up, exclaiming, I'm gonna be rich. But outside, it's still packed. Everyone squeezing in. A real mosh pit. Buying tickets like they're going out of style. 8, 10 at a time. They're all dying to see this epic showdown. This rumble in the jungle. The servers ticked off, giving everyone the stink eye. It's all your fault. Now I can't even catch a glimpse of my girl. Rosa Cat. The crowd's going wild, chanting, Situfei, Situfei. But someone's yelling, Rosa Cat, I love you. Smooth move. Romeo. Back to Situfei, our main man, after throwing down and showing off his moves. This dude's practically on his knees, gasping for air. Looks like someone hit the gym. Maybe next week? What in the world? He gasps. Salamanca's female warriors are tough. But where did this beast come from? He's wiped the floor with every other fighter. Talk about a clean sweep. And get this. He's got the rare black hole ability. His fighting style is out of this world. Literally, that's spatial manipulation? Dude's bending the fabric of reality, even with speed that rivals light itself. Against Situfei, he's moving like a snail. Burn. His movements are always predictable. He's definitely more powerful than he looks. He's got to have more than just spatial abilities. He's probably got some hidden tricks up his sleeve. The warrior thought he was pretty hot stuff. But against Situfei, he's getting schooled. Situfei's defense and offense are both smooth as butter. If I lose, I'll be the laughingstock of the century, he said, summoning an energy pen into his hand. Situfei glanced at it calmly. You want to play pen fight? I'm a big fan of pen fights myself. Let's see what you've got. With that, a diamond pen materialized in his hand. Without a word, he lunged at the warrior, using his spatial abilities to close the distance and accelerate. He appeared before the warrior in a flash. The warrior gritted his teeth. Are you freaking kidding me? You think I'm some chump? Bring it on, the warrior roared. Let's see what you've got. Swish, swish, clang. Sword clashes filled the air. In a blink, they'd exchanged dozens of blows. But Stuffy was clearly schooling this dude, leaving the warrior barely hanging on. Suddenly, the warrior unleashed a power move, sending Stuffy's spinning top flying. Boing, the warrior smirked. Gotcha, timing is everything, my friend. Even a noob can win with the right move. How about a little top battle? Huh? You can't beat me at this game. He held up his top, and it started to hum and vibrate. Asterisk biz asterisk. Blue energy pulsed, forming glowing wings. Whoa, with a jump, he launched himself into the air. He unleashed his whirlwind attack. It hurtled straight towards Stuffy. Stuffy dodged with a smooth side step. Whoosh, in the blink of an eye, he reappeared before the male warrior. The hand of space was unleashed. The blue warrior was still completely dumbfounded when Master Situfei grabbed him by the head. Then, with a swift sweep of his leg, he sent the blue warrior flying. He was thrown clear out of the ring, crashing through the floor. The male warrior struggled to his feet. Damn it, everything went black. Meanwhile, the owner, acting as commentator, announced, he's out of the ring. Situfei wins this match. Next, he'll face the #1 ranked warrior, the top dog of the arena. But just then, the male warrior roared in protest. Who said being thrown out means you lose? The owner replied, that's always been the rule. But no matter what, the warrior insisted on continuing the fight. He told the top-ranked warrior waiting behind him to hold his horses. As the two were arguing, a massive club-like weapon suddenly smashed down, splitting the ground. A warrior wielding a long alloy club suddenly appeared. The previous warrior felt this terrifying aura, and his head immediately drooped. This club-wielding warrior slowly walked past the two. The warrior from before was so scared he gulped. Because this man was the #1 ranked warrior, the undefeated champion for 6 consecutive months. He was known as Salamanca City's strongest 5-core warrior among the freedom fighters. He even possessed the strength of a vice-captain. Let's give a warm welcome to the champion warrior. Cairo, the Lulin dancer, was up next. The audience started buzzing, gossiping like old biddies at a bingo night. Rakshasa Cat's going straight for the champ? That's ballsy. Yeah, isn't that a bit hasty? Like jumping the gun. Kinda. This champ was a musician in some crazy death squad before. You know, heard he's got a nasty temper and a heart colder than a penguin's tootsies. Some fighters just forfeited when they heard his name. Straight up nope it out. Even the waiter was sweating bullets, muttering, gotta stop Sister Rakshasa Cat from fighting this psycho. No way. He frantically radioed the boss man. Call the match. Abort. Abort. But the boss was too blinded by $signs to care. No stopping the show. Are you nuts? It's about respect. Gotta give the champ what he wants. He's here for a beatdown. Let's give him a beatdown. The ads are out. The hype is real. Tickets are selling for 10 times the usual price. We're talking serious dough. This is gonna be a money printing machine. Who cares if Rakshasa Cat and Cairo end up as kitty litter? The boss couldn't care less. This ain't his circus. Ain't his monkeys. Cairo just stood there, chillin' like a villain, radiating serious, don't mess with me vibes. Like nuclear levels of don't mess with me. He's giving Stuffy the death stare. You know, the I will end you look. But Stuffy's no slouch. She's got that try me glint in her eye. Girl wants to know what's up. Just how big is the gap between her and a 5-core warrior? Time to find out. Cairo breaks the silence. Smooth as silk. You're a captivating warrior. You know that? Laying it on thick. I've seen all your fights. Every single one. Creeper alert. That freaky space power and your crazy prediction skills. He's a fanboy. Even among 4 core warriors. You're a total badass. High praise. But, you know, I kinda wanna pulverize you into goo. Well, there it is. Stuffy's like, whoa, hold up. Internal freakout commencing. This dude's killing intent is on a whole other level compared to that last chump. And just like that, Cairo attacks. Surprise. Seeing this, Situfei's eyes widened. Cairo wanted to use aerial skills to suppress him. So, after dodging several spiritual power attacks, Situfei wanted to seize the opportunity and use his spatial ability to get behind Cairo. But in the next second, Cairo's alloy stick attacked Situfei's face. This sudden attack would have exposed an ordinary person on the spot. Fortunately, Situfei's reaction was very quick. He dodged the attack with a backward lean. Seeing this, Cairo grinned. Little girl, what are you looking at? Trying to use your prediction to see through my broken warrior? Too bad. That trick doesn't work on me at all. Situfei finally managed to steady himself and wondered what was going on. He had clearly seen Cairo's trajectory just now. But where did he go wrong? Game on. The mysterious, demonic little girl, Little Bean, is finally making her move. Situfei faces off against Cairo. Renowned for his strength and speed, Situfei is initially beaten back relentlessly. But after dozens of rounds, he finally discovers Cairo's weakness. It turns out he couldn't predict Cairo's attack trajectory before, because Cairo was using his speed to make extra feints. This confused Situfei's predictions. Therefore, Situfei was only seeing feints. Having grasped Cairo's weakness, defeating him is now merely a matter of time. Situfei is about to claim the top spot on the arena leaderboard. But, a sinister figure appears in the arena's walkway. It instantly rips the boss in half. Looks like things are getting lively in here. Just now, Situfei suddenly started doubting his own abilities. Why? Was her attack trajectory different from what he foresaw? Could it be that his foresight ability was wrong? Seeing this, Cairo slowly said, "Masked woman, if you're too weak, I'm afraid it won't be easy for me to win, because I don't want to be laughed at behind my back. For bullying a defenseless girl, it would make me lose face." Hearing this, Situfei pondered for a moment. "I originally had some concerns about your strength, but now you've successfully pissed me off." Situfei constantly told himself to calm down and observe her steps. Cairo snorted coldly. "Pissed off?" While you're talking, he tightened his grip on the alloy rod in his hand. "I like feisty women like you," he purred. Before wham, a newspaper smacked Situfei upside the head. Meanwhile, Situfei was trying to predict his opponent's next move. Like a chess grandmaster, he'll grip the end of the stick, he thought, spin it like a helicopter blade, and attack from the left. Situfei was so sure of it. He'd bet his lunch money on it. But, plot twist, he was wrong. Again, Cairo's attack came from the right. Like a ninja on roller skates, Situfei had zero time to react. Zip, zilch, nada, bam. The golden stick connected with Situfei's head. Ouch. Cairo, feeling extra sassy, dropped a sick burn. "I'll smash your mask so hard, it'll take your skull with it." Savage. The audience winced. Even they felt that one. "That's gotta hurt," they whispered. "Luocha-cat's either dead or seriously messed up." Dang. Cairo's playing for keeps. No surprise there. He's from the Chaos crew. Did his mask fall off? I'm dying to see what this dude looks like under there. But only Cairo sensed something was off. His attack looked devastating, like a hurricane hitting a piñata. But Situfei blocked it in the nick of time. Situfei had actually used his opponent's force against him, but that was crazy fast. That's why the audience thought Situfei got smashed. Situfei was shocked too. If he hadn't felt the impact, he would have forgotten Cairo was a Red River warrior. His speed and strength were way beyond Situfei's, and he was a 5-core warrior. To boot, finally, Situfei understood. It wasn't a problem with his bathroom, but Cairo using his speed to pull a fast one and confuse him. What Situfei saw were just feints. To beat this kind of opponent, he'd need his black box's space-time abilities, and he had to go on the offensive. With that, he stomped the ground. Before Cairo could even react, a blurry figure zipped right in front of him, but Cairo recognized it instantly. It was Situfei's freaky space-bending trick again, and he was trying to get the upper hand. The cheeky bugger. So Cairo went straight into combat mode. "Two forward. Lady. Two forward," he muttered, and unleashed his dense willow attack. Land Taiying. Suddenly, 4 Kairos popped up, each facing a different direction. No matter which way Situfei popped out, he'd get a face full of Kairos whirling staff. Situfei's teleporting trick was useless against this. Take that, space bending's a pain in the neck, Kairo thought, but an airtight defense shuts it down. Plus, Kairo's defense was also a pretty good offense. 2 birds, 1 staff. Suddenly, a furious gray tornado erupted, and within it, crackled red lightning bolts. Zap, holy moly. Kairo's whipping up a storm fit to level the city. Good thing this is a sanctioned arena match. Otherwise that explosive power would have turned this whole building into rubble. Kairo, chilling at the center of the chaos, throws some serious shade, saying, "Little lady, let me guess where you're hiding, so I can whack you like a mole." Bam! Next thing you know, Situfei pops up right under his feet. You underestimate my spatial manipulation skills, buddy. A flash of freaky light, and Kairo's leg erupts in a geyser of blood. He timbers backwards like a chopped down redwood. Situfei? Yeah, that was all her handiwork. Crash. Mr. Big Mouth Kairo eats dirt. Hard. Legs sliced open. Can't even stand up. Ouch. How'd you get under my feet? He sputters. That ain't no simple space jump, but can directly penetrate the environment. Hearing this, Situfei glanced up. Since your speed poses a threat to me, then I'll start by limiting your speed. Don't worry. This kind of injury will heal in a few days. If you beg me now, I can also use the Green River to help you recover. It wasn't until then that Kairo realized his carelessness, and underestimated the power of the Black River. But his momentum is indeed quad harmony. Situfei just looked at him quietly. Now you're like a torch. If you want to continue, this lady will accompany you to the end. Suddenly, a tsunami of shouts erupted in the arena. Rosa Cat is awesome. Rosa Cat is mighty. Rosa Cat, I love you. Rosa Cat is too strong. Quad harmony beats quint harmony with no resistance. At this moment, the waiter also heard the commotion from the arena. What's with all the racket over there? Could Sister Rakshasa Cat be getting humiliated? That Kairo guy is known for being brutal. Sis was a bit too reckless. How could 4 boxes possibly win against 5? I have to stop this match no matter what. But upon entering the arena, the sight before him left him utterly dumbfounded. Rakshasa Cat had the absolute upper hand. Could it be? Is the male warrior champion about to be dethroned? The waiter finally snapped back to reality. As expected of Sister Rakshasa Cat, Boss Stone's voice boomed once again. Now, if you purchase the first edition of the Rakshasa Cat limited edition commemorative fan badge, you're guaranteed to double your money when you resell it. Only 1.000 pieces available. What are you waiting for? Kid, get over here and cover for me. I'm gonna hawk some more merch by the entrance. Every second is money right now. Remember, get the crowd pumped. Really work 'em up. The waiter grabbed the microphone from the boss. Rosa Cat, sister, let me witness your moment of glory. I've got your back with the cheering section. The waiter launched into a passionate, almost screaming commentary. Could this be Rosa Cat's day? Is he going to take home the championship belt? Will he be crowned the king of the ring? Let's find out. The atmosphere in the arena reached fever pitch. Rosa Cat, asterisk, note. Assuming a typo and correcting to consistent name. Rosa Cat, we love you. Rosa Cat will prevail. The boss was grinning ear to ear. At this rate, I'll be rolling in dough within a month. This Rosa Cat is a goldmine. My own personal money printing machine. But as the boss just stepped out of the competition tunnel, he found a little girl standing behind him. So he stopped immediately. Whose child are you? Why are you standing here alone? You can't just stay here. Are you lost from your parents? Hearing this, the little girl said one word. Parents? Little Bean doesn't have parents. Seeing Little Bean's appearance, the boss was instantly scared silly. Demon, are you a demon? But before he could finish, a fingertip shot up to Lin Lee's attack, and the boss was torn to shreds on the spot. Then Little Bean looked towards the ring. It looks like it's very lively over there. Let's go and have a look. Saying that, she diligently walked towards the ring. Here he comes. Here he comes. The demonic Little Bean finally makes his grand entrance. With just one blow, he instantly KO'd the reigning champion. Kairo, Situfei immediately realized that this was no ordinary demon. Little Bean possessed the ability to change his appearance at will. And then, the demonic Little Bean challenged Situfei. How about a 1-minute match? Meanwhile, Ang Yi detected a disturbance in the city. But he was puzzled. Why were there 2 strange and powerful auras? Just moments ago, the atmosphere in the arena had reached fever pitch. It was an exciting moment. A female warrior had not only entered the male arena, but she was about to prove to the world that female warriors were no less capable than their male counterparts. No sooner had the words left her mouth Then Si-Tu-Fei launched another relentless attack. Behind Cairo, a square of desolate, green wasteland materialized. He sensed the anomaly behind him, but Si-Tu-Fei thrust out her left hand, and bam! A blinding light sent Cairo flying. In the same instant, Si-Tu-Fei unleashed her spatial ability. In the blink of an eye, it was upon Cairo. Cairo cursed inwardly. Damn it, this woman's tossing me around like a rag doll. Is she trying to bait me into a frontal assault? Cairo gripped his alloy staff tighter. He had no choice but to go all out. But as the battle raged, Si-Tu-Fei felt a chill run down her spine, a sense of impending danger. Then, bam! Little girl pops into Stuffy's head. Like a cheesy sitcom flashback. Behind her, dead body of the boxing ring boss. Awkward. Stuffy slams on the brakes. Fight night's over. He's getting some seriously bad vibes. Like he ate too much cheese before a lactose tolerance test. That flashback wasn't from the director's cut. That's for sure. Meanwhile, Cairo sees Stuffy spacing out. Classic rookie mistake. He swings his big stick like he's trying to hit a home run. But Stuffy's got ninja reflexes. Dodges it like a pro. Cairo's sneak attack? Epic fail. Total whiff. Back to the drawing board. Cairo. Next up, Stuffy puts his foot right on Cairo's head. Literally. Then stomps like he's crushing a bug. Cairo goes flying. By Felicia. Stuffy lands like a gymnast after sticking a perfect 10. But his mind's still replaying that flashback. Something's not right. He felt it. A shiver down his spine. Major demonic vibes. This just got interesting. But we're in the city. A normal demon couldn't possibly show up here. But I definitely wasn't mistaken just now. That was definitely a demonic aura. And the demonic power within him resonated with that demonic aura. Cairo forced himself to stand up. To think I'd end up in such a sorry state. I'm going to kill you today. The audience erupted in laughter. Merchant. The ringmaster got his ass handed to him. And he's still talking big? Rakshasa Cat has this in the bag. But Si-Tu-Fei was observing the area around the ring. Seeing this, the server looked puzzled. Sister Rakshasa Cat, what are you looking for? Why did Rakshasa Cat suddenly stop? What's he looking around for? What the heck? Rakshasa Cat, keep attacking. Cairo on the field felt insulted. Does he look down on us? Damn it, spacing out at a time like this? If my foot wasn't injured, I would have smashed him with my staff already. Then, Si-Tu-Fei slowly said, I was hesitant to say this, because you might not believe me. But, I sensed the presence of a demon. It was only for a brief moment, but I suggest we call a truce for now. You're a warrior too, right? Cairo found this absurd. Ha, a demon here? Ha ha ha. This is Salamanca, the sacred city. How could a demon possibly appear here? Are you really that dumb? But no sooner had he spoken, than a blue energy sword materialized in his chest, freezing him solid. And Si-Tu-Fei, this time felt an even stronger demonic presence. Gasp. Cairo was completely bewildered. What was that? That's not one of your abilities. Is it? But just as he finished, the energy sword exploded. Boom. Cairo instantly exploded into a bloody mess. Si-Tu-Fei's eyes widened in shock. Then, the figure of the demonic child, Little Bean, slowly materialized. So this is a human 5-core warrior? Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Completely defenseless. On the battlefield, only Si-Tu-Fei had noticed the demon's presence. But was it truly a demon? Or just a child? It seems Cairo's sudden demise has left the audience in a state of bewildered confusion. Someone needs to get the announcer a megaphone. Stat. All eyes turned towards the commentary booth, where the poor waiter turned announcer is practically quaking in his boots. Despite his terror, he manages to squeak out an announcement. There's a demon on the loose. Evacuate immediately. Everyone, get out of here. Now. But his voice is lost in the chaos. No one can hear a word he's saying. Did he say, demon? What just happened to Cairo? And who's that little girl? When did a little girl even get on stage? Meanwhile, little demon Duzi casts a mischievous glance at the bewildered audience. Finally, the crowd seems to grasp the situation. A collective gulp echoes through the arena. And then, all hell breaks loose. Everyone screams and scrambles for the exits. Run! It's a demon. A demon has appeared in the city. Little Bean, the demon, looked on with disdain. Just a little chaos and they're all in a frenzy. Humans are such weak creatures. But Si-Tu-Fei was still puzzled. How did a demon turn into a little girl? And with such manners? Little Bean stared directly at Si-Tu-Fei. A dark blue demonic aura emanating from her. Eliminating 6 pentacore warriors. Doesn't seem that difficult. I need to speed up the rest of the mission. Master said I can start the cleansing once the mission is complete. Si-Tu-Fei, observing this, asked, are you one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? What is your purpose in infiltrating Salamanca? To this question, Little Bean paused for a moment. Human female warrior, and a rare black reaper shows up in just 60 seconds. Master said, this is a B-level town's demon response time. Once I'm exposed, a human warrior will arrive within a minute. Meanwhile, Situ Fei noticed something strange. This guy could shapeshift. Definitely not your average run-of-the-mill demon. Little Bean the demon approached with a smile. This is your human arena, right? I'll give you 60 seconds. How about a little rumble in the ring? At the same time, at Aang's hotel, he sensed the demonic presence. Something felt off since yesterday, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it. Two strange and powerful auras? What was going on? This demon had a creepy habit. Before each kill, this dude just loves the sweet sound of human screams. Like, seriously, it's his jam. He's got this whole philosophy about it. See, humans, total wimps, scaredy cats, bottom of the food chain. Basically, low-level NPCs in the grand scheme of things. Demons? Now they're the VIPs. So, obviously, his to-do list is pretty simple. Exterminate all humans, like a bug zapper, but with more flair. Meanwhile, back in the real world, or, this world, Aang's in the middle of a major glow-up. Leveling up, if you will. Evolution time. Do not disturb. Seriously, don't even think about interrupting. So, these elemental crystals? They're like power-ups for warriors, giving them elemental mojo and all that jazz. Why? Because they're packed with pure elemental energy. Like a 5-course meal for your inner wizard. But if you vibe with them just right, you can pinpoint the exact element you need. Like a magical GPS for power-ups. Just gotta tap into that sweet earth element, and boom, earth, wind, fire, water, heart. Wait, wrong franchise, but you get the idea. 5 elements acquired. Next step? Mix them all together. Like a magical smoothie. Who knows what'll happen? It's gonna be epic. Or maybe just explode. Stay tuned. Meanwhile, the arena's exit tunnel was jammed with people trying to escape. Out of my way. Don't be a roadblock. Yaw filthy animals. Screams of terror and desperation filled the air. Little Bean reveled in the chaos. A twisted grin spreading across his face. The shrieks and cries of agony were music to his tiny, demonic ears. Master G. Nio always said, humans are easily frightened. Inferior beings. Fear is a base emotion that causes them to lose their cool and any semblance of rational thought. But we demons? We're not so easily swayed by feelings. Our actions and judgment are far superior. Situ Fei suddenly realized he couldn't be fooled by this kid's innocent appearance. This was a high-level demon, a force to be reckoned with. Speaking, this devil thinks differently than the others. Situ Fei probed cautiously. Who is this wise bird you mentioned? How many of you sneaked into town? But before he could finish, Little Bean launched a swift attack. Tick-tock. You've only got a minute left. Situ Fei, ever the beefcake, activated his spatial powers. Little Bean's eyes widened in sudden alarm. Spatial manipulation? And, it feels so familiar. Such a potent aura. Who granted you this power? Then, connecting it to dark spatial energy, he gasped. Could it be that top-tier being? Situ Fei quickly adjusted his mask. As expected of a high-ranking devil, such pure agility-based energy. You guessed the source immediately. But, who is this being you speak of? Looks like I gotta squeeze some intel out of this little runt. Not bad. That higher up who gave me my powers. We're on the same side. See? So, spill the beans. What's your mission sneaking into town? Beanpole answers. Cold as ice. Evolution mission. Situ Fei's eyebrows practically fly off his face. Don't demons level up by, like, eating each other? Preferably someone higher rank? What's this evolution mission, Jazz? The words barely leave his mouth before Beanpole's jaw drops. Then a sly grin creeps across his face. A grin so sneaky you'd need a magnifying glass to see it. That whole, eat your buddies thing you're talking about, that's for low-level demons. Amateur hour stuff. He tiptoes closer to Situ Fei. All menacing like, we've got way more evolved methods. Situ Fei's jaw hits the floor. Again, there are other ways to become a super demon? He just has to ask. Do any other soldiers know about this intel? And we need to figure out who that being actually is. Their identity. But just then, Little Bean grabbed his arm. Your lies are ridiculously childish. If you were one of us, how could you not even know this? You actually think you can fool me? With that, a surge of dark, demonic power erupted from her. Situ Fei instantly realized he was screwed. His plan was completely blown. There was no time to use his spatial abilities. In the next second, a sharp blade lunged towards Situ Fei's cheek. Without any other choice, Situ Fei immediately threw himself sideways. But Little Bean's attack was too swift and precise. She unleashed a flurry of blade strikes in an instant. Even though Fei reacted quickly, half of the mask on his face was still sliced off. It even left a deep groove in the ground. No matter what he did, he couldn't break free from Xiaoduzi's grasp. Suddenly, a wicked smile appeared on Xiaoduzi's lips. Zhou Yan light technique. Everyone thought Fei would be obliterated on the spot, but in the next second, he realized he was only holding onto an arm. Fei had taken advantage of the opening and circled behind him. After all, Fei had familiarized himself with many abilities through the tournament. He just needed to adjust his state. With that said, he thrust his dagger towards the back of Xiaoduzi's neck. Note: Bai Shou likely refers to a weapon, probably the dagger mentioned earlier, translated as dagger for consistency. But just as the dagger was about to strike, it suddenly stopped. Before Fei could react, several blue rays of light burst forth from Xiaoduzi's body. Fei thought, is he going to self-destruct? Sure enough, in the next second, a massive explosion rocked the battlefield. The blast momentarily blinded Fei. Just when he thought it was over, Xiaoduzi's voice echoed from above. Not bad with the spatial manipulation, but you forced my hand. Or, Wang? Fei suddenly realized that wasn't a self-destruct. Cute trick, but that's all you got. I was planning on using my original form for this mission anyway. And that, my friend, is my blue falcon form. Fei's heart sank. High-level demon. A high-level demon? What other secrets are they hiding? But just then, Xiaoduzi took a menacing step forward. I'm losing my patience. I have a job to do. So, let's skip the chit-chat and get to the ripping and tearing. Things are about to get lit. Fei and Little Bean's showdown is absolutely fire. Little Bean thought his blue swallow form would be enough to completely crush Fei. Boy, was he wrong. But after just a few rounds, Fei used his spatial abilities to teleport him 10,000 meters into the air. Then, he locked Little Bean's neck with his legs and slammed him into the ground from that insane height. And then, just to add insult to injury, he stomped on him. Ouch! Little Bean was getting wrecked. He couldn't even defend himself. Left with no other choice, Little Bean had to unleash his ultimate weapon, the double-core devil form. With just a casual flick of the wrist, Fei was completely paralyzed. Talk about a power move. You're actually worthy of being my opponent. Sick burn. Little Bean. Just moments ago. Meanwhile, 3 figures were charging towards the arena. Looks like reinforcements. Talk about perfect timing for the devilish crew to show up. Of all the rotten luck, the captain and vice captain are away. And this happens. What a coincidence. Or is it? It's strange. Really, up until now, the demon activity around here has been pretty predictable. We've handled things fairly well, too. But these past few days, it's like the demons are deliberately causing trouble. There's been a string of brutal demon attacks around town. Even supply transports have been hit by some mysterious poison. We're talking high-level warriors getting taken out. To keep Salamanca safe and the economy from tanking, the captains organized a massive sweep. But they barely left when we got reports of demons inside the city. This whole thing stinks, but we need to check it out regardless. 3-4 flag warriors together. This ain't no ordinary demon your average Joe can handle. We're all freaking vice captain candidates. Don't underestimate us, you demonic dumpster fire. Meanwhile, Demon Healer was chillin' on a rooftop like a boss. What's the big deal? You guys are gonna be so dead. You won't even know what hit ya. Gotta make these deaths look more accidental. You know, for appearances, humans are such weirdos, blind to the obvious, obsessed with the irrelevant, always overthinking the wrong things. Time to check on Little Beansprout. See how he's wreaking havoc. Speaking of Beansprout, he was throwing down with Fei, and it was epic. Fei, using his spatial shenanigans, dodged everything like a ninja. Can't touch this, especially those blue flames. Nope. No thank you. Even from way over here, I can feel the heat. Literally, this kid's got some serious firepower. Beansprout was all like, "Peefed, is that all you got?" His blue flames were flying everywhere. A total inferno. Dude, dodging all day is boring. Come on, let's dance. Where you at, my warrior princess sister? Suddenly, Fei slammed on the brakes. Immediately after, bam, a reporter ambushed Little Bean. Don't you dare call me sister. It makes my skin crawl. With that, she shoved Little Bean into her dimensional space. Trying to push me into your space? Not gonna work. Warrior sister, with your puny human abilities. You can't pull it off. But a second later, Little Bean's jaw dropped. Si-Du-Fei had teleported him 10.000 meters into the sky. Little Bean's eyes widened in surprise. I can't believe you actually did it. What level of spatial ability do you possess? This ability to transport others using dimensional powers was something he'd only seen in a few high-ranking demons. A human warrior with such mastery over spatial manipulation? Could his power truly be from that lord's parents? Si-Du-Fei was equally astonished. Just a touch burned him like this, but for now, he could still endure it. Could it be because the demonic power also affects the body? I must take advantage of his agility. His core is in the air, making it hard for him to exert his full strength. Then, I'll use my spatial ability to control him. Quickly, Little Bean was firmly locked down by Si-Du-Fei. This move originally utilized the body's ability to leap into the air, then strike the enemy with a ground wrestling technique. I didn't expect it to come in handy here. Empowered by spatial abilities, this move was elevated to a deadly level. A green energy beam shot straight into the sky, even piercing through the dark clouds. Then, using spatial abilities again, it was slammed into the ground. At this moment, Little Bean was being ignominiously trampled underfoot, having lost his previous imposing manner. Afterwards, Si-Du-Fei slowly removed his mask. Speak. How many more of you demonic scum have infiltrated the police? Little Bean ground his teeth in fury. To be humiliated so badly by a human warrior. Instead of answering Si-Du-Fei's question, he countered. Who bestowed upon you such spatial abilities? Was it the great king of darkness, He Wang-Chi himself? Otherwise, you simply couldn't possess such high-level powers. Who are you really? Hearing the name He Wang-Chi, Si-Du-Fei's heart skipped a beat. That's the female demon who appeared in my mind. Her name is He Wang-Chi, and she's a king? Who is she? There are kings among demons? I thought the highest rank was the 7 deadly sins. What level is He Wang-Chi then? Little Bean cursed. Damn human warrior, you're using our demonic powers. Yet they act all high and mighty with their low-down dirty ways. Master Ji Nio was right. Humans truly are a vile and disgusting bunch. As the words left his mouth, a ball of flame burst forth, completely catching Si-Du-Fei off guard. It also created some distance between them. Si-Du-Fei realized things had taken a turn for the worse. He couldn't move his body. It was a psychic attack from the purple core. He was shocked by the change in Xiaoduzi. How did he suddenly grow a 5th appendage? Master Bird will be disappointed if he sees me like this, he said as he slowly lowered his mask. You wretched human warrior, you've actually forced me to use my full power. You should be honored. Human. In an instant, he transformed into his dual-core weapon demon form. He stood there, glaring coldly at Si-Du-Fei. Meanwhile, a few human warriors dared to challenge a devil? It's the weapon devil. Weapon devil or not, the 3 of us together, he might not be a match for us. With that said, they charged towards Bean. Bean, on the other hand, didn't even flinch. Seeing this, Si-Du-Fei hurriedly shouted, "Don't come any closer." But it was too late. The 3 had already reached Bean. Foolish humans, you're not even worthy of being my target. Only then did the 3 realize, it's a dual-core weapon devil. But by then, it was too late to back down. Bean casually extended a single finger. Bewitching Hawk. Freeze. The 3 human warriors were frozen in place. Bean then chanted a series of incantations, and then uttered a single word. Kill each other. Several human warriors were instantly decapitated. Si-Du-Fei could only watch helplessly from the side. Little Bean picked up one of the heads, and with a asterisk splat, crushed it in his hand. You're different from them. You are worthy. Here it comes. Here it comes. The demonic bird finally attacked the human Wookiee warriors. The sheer pressure of its released power instantly obliterated several Wookiee warriors. As Si-Du-Fei was about to meet his maker, Black King Chi, lurking in the shadows, provided a timely warning. This allowed Si-Du-Fei's spatial abilities to further evolve. Little Bean decided to stop holding back, just as the man and the monster were about to clash in a decisive battle. That sneaky little G-bird quietly snuck into Aang's training room just moments ago. Then Little Bean looked at Si-Du-Fei with disdain. Aren't you curious about my objective here? Well, today I'll satisfy your curiosity. As a high-ranking demon, I can qualify for evolution by completing a trial mission. And my mission? Eliminate 6 weapon warriors and Master Tu Chang. To make things easier, those troublesome main and vice captains have been lured outside the city. Otherwise, fighting them together would be a real headache. However, the remaining weapon warriors in the city aren't enough. Although you're only a 4-riding warrior, judging by your strength, you qualify as a target. Hearing this, Si-Du-Fei rapidly processed the information, thinking about how to respond. Wu Qi's dual core power is just too overwhelming. I'm no match for him in my current state. But just then, Aang's image suddenly popped into my mind. Strange. Why would I think of him now? Because in all my previous battles, whenever danger arose, Aang would always step up. But now, I had to face this alone. Suddenly, Little Bean spoke up, interrupting my thoughts. Alright, I'm done wasting time. Thanks for the entertainment. As he spoke, he drew the surrounding flames into his hands like a giant stag. Then stomped the ground, shattering it with a mighty roar. Purple curse acceleration. Die. Human. He lunged towards Situfei, quickly reaching him. But just then, Situfei's pupils suddenly widened, and the figure of the Black King Chi appeared in his mind. Little sister, I can't interfere too much. We both have things we want to protect, and I've given you all my power. You're already gradually mastering it. As for how far you can take it, that depends on your own awakening. So from now on, you're on your own. Hearing these words, Situfei suddenly cracked a smile. Just a demon, and it dares to lecture me about awakening? With that, his eyes suddenly turned a suffocating green. Little Bean noticed the change in Situfei, but it was too late to stop. He was sent flying by the terrifying energy emanating from Situfei. Barely managed to regain my footing. Such overbearing power. It must be the power bestowed upon you by the great Black King Chi. You're clearly a human warrior. So why do you possess the power of the great Black King Chi? Could it be that the great Black King Chi has betrayed us demons? But Situfei's expression was one of, well, it was kinda blank. Spatial energy warped and shifted around him. I don't care what you're babbling about. I will accept this power without question. To continue protecting what's important to me, I must constantly grow stronger and evolve. With that, he levitated into the air like some kind of demonic god. Eerie green lightning crackled and danced wildly around his body. Little Bean was now completely enraged. Don't think that just because you've accepted demonic power, you can stand on equal footing with us. You're just a foolish human warrior. As for the great Black King's intentions, it seems to learn the answer. I'll have to bring your head back with me. With that, a Kwang Bao surge of blue energy erupted from Small Bean, instantly forming a terrifying demonic skull. But Situfei wasn't the least bit afraid. You want my head? You'll have to earn it. Even if it costs me my life today, I will slay this two-headed demon here. Thus, Situfei and Small Bean were about to begin their final showdown, and the entire arena was engulfed by their raging energy. Jean Nio smiled, looking towards the sky. I really hate this awful weather. All that rumbling is so noisy. Just then, a voice came from behind him. What are you doing at a time like this? You're just strolling around? Don't you know a demon has appeared in the city? But Jean Nio himself was a high-ranking demon, so he just smiled slightly. A demon in the city? Are you going to bother him? His expression suddenly turned cold. Are you going to kill him? The human warrior was instantly enraged. Answer my question. Are you a resident of this town? Where is your exact address? Do you have any identification? Because a humanoid demon has appeared in the city. We need to investigate all suspicious individuals. Jean Nio said. I'm just a peaceful passerby. Don't be so worked up. He reached into his pocket. I'll get my ID for you right now. The wise bird fumbled around in its clothes for a good while, but didn't pull anything out. The watching soldiers were left speechless, but it kept digging around. Oblivious to their stares, the human soldiers were about to lose it. But then, the wise bird did something that made their jaws drop. After all that searching, it made a heart shape with its fingers, you know. The I love you sign. That was the last straw. The human soldiers couldn't take it anymore. Are you freaking kidding me right now? You think this is a joke? I don't care what you are. You're going down. But the wise bird just smiled. This is, in fact, my identification. With that, a terrifying demonic power erupted. The human soldiers were instantly overwhelmed. The wise bird snapped its fingers, and the demonic power surged. All the human soldiers could do was scream. A blood-curdling scream, instantly annihilated. Just like that, Jean Niao's face twisted into a sinister grin. Don't you know I can't stand the sight of blood? He whined. I could have been left in peace, but you just had to come looking for trouble. He flicked the blood from his face with a dramatic flourish. Such rude humans, he muttered. He sauntered forward, arriving at Aang's training chamber. Aha, here we are. That unruly energy surge from earlier. It definitely came from here. Let's have a peek, shall we? There he is. There he is. The dashing, roguishly handsome 8 Knights King Chi returns. Someone's a fanboy. Aang was at a critical moment in his earth element refinement, when suddenly, the slightly edgy demon Ji Nio barged in, blasting open the door with a single palm strike. Suddenly, a giant red claw snatched it up. It crushed the demonic Ji Niao's hand in a single grip, and warned, "Pipe down, birdie, he's at a crucial moment right now. Even I'm on the edge of my seat. You absolutely cannot disturb him." Meanwhile, Aang was in a bit of a pickle himself. He was at the critical point of fusing with the Earth Elemental Crystal. Under no circumstances could he be interrupted. The Earth element was finally within his grasp. All he had to do now was stabilize the Earth element within his body, and victory would be his. With that, he would have gathered all 5 elements: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Then, he could finally attempt to fuse them all together. He just hadn't expected fusing with the Earth element to be so taxing. The slightest distraction could disrupt the flow of elemental energy and ruin everything. Focus was paramount. No pressure or anything. Otherwise, all our efforts will be in vain. Training room, first floor. The buddies were curious. Why does that kid need such a big room all to himself? The owner sighed softly. You wouldn't understand the joys of being a kept man. Just then, an emergency alert blared from the TV. Suspected demon sighting in the city. All residents are advised to remain indoors. The owner, witnessing this, was puzzled. How could there be a demon in the city? No sooner had he spoken than a demonic bird appeared at the door, walking in with a smile. Hello, owner. The owner was stunned speechless. The buddy, still chattering, asked, What's your deal? You don't look like a Ming warrior. Didn't you hear the demon alert? We're closed. Scram. But Ji Nio just waltzed right in, like he owned the place. The owner, chilling on the side, was instantly ticked off. This is a warrior's training room. Pal, no randoms allowed, he yelled. Keep out. Famous last words. Cuz before he could finish, his head went poof, exploded like a watermelon. Limbs twisted. Organs scrambled. It wasn't pretty. Dude looked like a pretzel gone wrong. And Ji Nio didn't even flinch. Just stood there, cool as a cucumber. A warrior's training room. Huh? Ji Nio mused. So that demonic energy is coming from a human warrior? But there's like a gazillion training rooms here. Guess we gotta check 'em all. Ji Nio sighed. Room service. Excuse me. Housekeeping? Kicks down door? Nope. Not this one. Definitely not this one either. After ransacking a dozen rooms, only a few were left. The search was almost over. Meanwhile, Aang's evolution was hitting its climax. Dude was sweating bullets, literally. This was getting intense. Must concentrate. Just a little bit further to go. The demon Ji Niao's footsteps slowly echoed from outside. Only one room left. This room is quite luxurious. After probing with demonic power, as expected, it's a human warrior. Better say hello first. With that, a giant hand slammed against the training room door. Meanwhile, a large red hand appeared from within. After Ji Niao's charged attack, he was shocked. How is this possible? With such force, the door wasn't broken? There seemed to be a very familiar aura inside. This feeling, he froze. This power, so strong, so familiar. Suddenly, red claws reached out from within the door. In one swift move, he grabbed Ji Niao's right hand, pinning him down with such force he couldn't straighten up. Upon closer inspection, lo and behold, it was the beloved and long-awaited King Chi. Awakened from his slumber, witnessing this, the enraged Ji Nio was utterly dumbfounded. Nini, Red 8 banners. I remember you. You're one of the Crimson King's riders. But the Crimson Rider signaled a promotion. His rooster held hand, never pausing. He's holding a rooster? Okay. Ji Nio was now like a lamb to the slaughter. Or maybe a sitting duck. Shush. Keep it down. He's in a crucial phase right now, he said, winking and glancing back. Even I'm on the edge of my seat. We must eliminate all noise. With that, a red energy enveloped them both. Ji Nio, his previous swagger gone, now looked like a total goofball. Are you the legendary king? It's Lord Wang Qi. Hearing this, Kai Wang's face clearly showed displeasure. Legendary? Huh? I didn't expect to have already become a legendary existence. Those guys are living quite comfortably. You should be a subordinate of Death Qi. Compared to before, how is their current strength? Hearing this, Ji Nio immediately knelt down. Yes, I am a subordinate of Lord Death Qi. My lords, you have always been the strongest of our clan. Of course, that includes you as well. As soon as Lord Wang Qi said this, Kai Wang Qi just shrugged dismissively. As for me, in my current state, I wouldn't dare claim to be the strongest. Saying this, he glanced at the distant arena. You have good strength as well. You should be one of Zi Wang Qi's capable subordinates. I sense another demon within this city. Is that your associate? Ji Nio responded, practically shaking his tail feathers. He's my trainee, Your Excellency. Today is his big day. We're here to see if he's got the chops. The higher-ups granted him this little test run. If he passes, he gets a power-up. Think extra spicy chicken wings for his soul. Wen Yan's face practically twisted into a pretzel. You mean the massacre innocents and raise the city test? Quote, still using my old playbook. I see. How? Quaint. Bad timing. Fellas, seriously, couldn't have picked a worse day. See, I can't have anyone bothering him. No distractions allowed. Wen Yan's cryptic words left Ji Nio scratching his head. Aren't we just dealing with regular human warriors here? Who's this him you're talking about? Is it that weird energy I sensed earlier? Like a wet dog mixed with burnt toast? Wen Yan gave Ji Nio the side eye. Oh, him? He's kind of a secret. And there's no way I'm letting you go back. Otherwise, if Zi Wangqi and the others find out, things will get messy. As soon as the word death was uttered, Ji Nio immediately sat up. Wait, Lord Kai Wangqi, I swear I won't breathe a word. I'm one of Zi Wangqi's subordinates. But before Ji Nio could finish, Kai Wangqi ended his wretched life on the spot. Now I can rest easy. Only the dead can keep secrets. And this secret of my existence must never be known to any demon. With that, he walked towards the training room without looking back. Success. He finally did it. Tang successfully fused the 5 elemental crystals. Moreover, he forcefully integrated them into his own body. But that's not all. He even went full on mad scientist and cooked up his own 6th element. The freaking thunder element. It's so strong, it made even Red King Kai wet himself a little. We're talking serious pee your pants power. This whole shebang let Xiang power up to like a whole new level of awesome. We've never seen anything like it. Behold, Xiang, the almighty thunder god. Just a second ago, Red King Kai strolls back into his training room. Aang's growth is ridiculously fast. He's actually digesting elemental power with his mind, like it's a freaking snack. And get this, human warriors are supposed to have only 1 element. This dude crammed 5 into himself. Talk about overachieving. Greedy much? But Red King Chi just smirked. Classic villain move. You must be in agony, he says, all smug like. Because, get this, Chi's right there in front of him. But Aang can't even sense him. Total noob. Force feeding 5 clashing elements into your body? Dude should be exploding. But he's just chillin'. Lucky him. Seriously. Dude's dodging a major boom. And he's reached, like, peak oneness with the universe in the corpse sea. For a human? Unheard of. With that kind of willpower. And that much crazy. He's one of a kind. Maybe the only kind. Once called the strongest warrior party. It seems, choosing you as my vessel was the right call. Time for me to scoot back into your bod. Gotta keep those pesky baddies from ripping my soul out. Rude. Took a lot out of me. Though, soul searching is tiring work. Totally worth it. Though, think of it as a soul spa day. Now then, you're gonna get a major power boost. Level up, which is a win-win for me. Obviously, just as the Crimson King was about to peace out, Aang's 5 elements started sparking like a faulty firework. The Crimson King was all like, wait, what is that? Lightning? Suddenly, Aang was all charged up, like a human Tesla coil. And above his training room, the skies went full on dramatic. Thunder boomed. Even the mighty 8 Night Kings were like, whoa, dude, couldn't help but mutter. What in the Book of Changes is going on? The thunder in the sky grew louder and louder, like a cranky dragon clearing its throat. And with it, a furious lightning storm began to brew, like a celestial barista whipping up a frappe of doom. Then kaboom, a lightning bolt zapped the training hall's skyscraper. Like Zeus himself had a bad case of the Mondays. Even the earth shuddered, as if saying, whoa, Nelly. When the thunder finally calmed down, the building was toast, reduced to rubble. Like a cookie after a dunk in milk. Even Wang Chi only survived thanks to his trusty magic shield gadget. Talk about a close shave. That thing totally saved his bacon. Or whatever magical beings eat. The Crimson King's night was all like, wait, what just happened? Was that lightning? Seriously? But then he got a good look at Aang and realized, holy moly, this dude was trying to wrangle 5 elements at once. Talk about overachieving. He was trying to cram them all into his body like a clown stuffing himself into a tiny car. Even the Crimson King's knight, who'd seen it all, was like, nah, no way. Can this guy actually pull this off? But then, boom, 5 elements surged into Aang's body all at once. He clenched his jaw, gritting his teeth against the onslaught. Wings suddenly sprouted from his back. Majestic and imposing, beams of white light erupted from within him. And Aang let out a primal roar that shook the very foundations. Lightning crackled, bursting through the training hall and soaring into the sky. Even the Red King rider watched in stunned silence. I may have underestimated this human. He not only evolved into a Wookiee, but he's mastered and fused 5 elements to create a never-before-seen 6th element, lightning. This white lightning, it's something even I find unnerving. As the lightning around Aang intensified, the Red King Rider's form began to dissipate, flowing back into Aang's body. Meanwhile, Situfei sensed a powerful disturbance. This sky-piercing lightning energy. What in the world is that? Seizing the moment when Situfei was distracted, Little Bean launched a swift attack. Where do you think you're going? But Situfei's reaction speed was now many times faster than before. Relying solely on demonic power, he blocked Little Bean's attack. Human, your strength surprises me. Just with your 4 horsemen state, you can unleash such immense power. Truly worthy of the power from the Black King's rider. But Situfei quickly realized that if this continued, he wouldn't last much longer. Even if he had awakened the power of the 4 horsemen, he was facing a high-level demon with dual strange cores. The captain in the city should have received the news soon. He had to change his tactics now. Use the power of space to buy as much time as possible. But Little Bean immediately saw through his little scheme. Don't think I don't know what you're up to, he said. And with that, bam! A fist rocketed towards Situfei's face. Luckily for Situfei, his demonic power-up let him barely dodge Little Bean's attack. Close one. Just then, chunks of space materialized behind Situfei with a asterisk whoosh. He flung the space chunks at Little Bean like a cosmic frisbee. Using the distraction, he put some distance between himself and the bean. He regained his footing, looking all cool and collected, and summoned more space chunks to form a protective shield. Fancy. Turns out, this was all thanks to some solid fatherly advice. When you're not sure, you can squish your opponent like a bug. Dad said, create some space. Observe their moves. Find their weakness. Exploit it. You know, dad stuff. Then, strike with deadly force. Classic dad. And Situfei was following dad's playbook to a T, taking advantage of this. But Little Bean just cracked a sly smile. Heh. The power of space, with Little Bean at the center. Strange. Pulsating waves of purple energy suddenly erupted. Turns out, Little Bean seized the moment to unleash his skill. Subduing melody, Situfei instantly realized he was screwed. A psychic attack? Little Bean's attack abruptly stopped. Situfei could barely use his spatial power to defend. But Little Bean, with a cheeky grin, immediately used his energy sword to pierce Situfei's calf. Blood spurted out like a geyser. Defeated, Situfei had to withdraw his spatial power. Facing Little Bean's relentless assault, he was totally out of options, even with his healing ability. But a wound like this ain't gonna heal itself in 5 minutes. Pal, Little Bean scoffed, full of himself. Any town we set our sights on becomes a ghost town. It's a guarantee, even if I messed up. Which, let's be honest, never happens. But say, hypothetically, my master, Brainy Bird, was here, he'd flatten this place like a pancake. Easy peasy. Unbeknownst to Little Bean, Brainy Bird was already toast, thanks to the Red King. Ouch. Bottom line? This town's on borrowed time. So give it up, just surrender already. You're toast. And with that, boom, a giant blue-purple blast of energy went flying. Situfei was pretty much ready to kiss his butt goodbye. This is it. I'm dead meat. But just when he thought he was done for, an even bigger blast of white energy jumped in front of him like a superhero. Little Bean's jaw dropped. He couldn't believe his eyes. My attack? Scattered by lightning? Quote, no way. But what made Little Bean truly despair was, in his eyes, Stuffy's savior was a Wuchi devil. But Stuffy felt a familiar presence, a sense of knowing. Is that Aang? It's you, Aang, right? Aang didn't reply. Crackling white lightning surrounded him. Crackle pop. Pure electrical energy. Finally, Aang had fused all 5 elements. His current form could only be described as Aang, the Wuchi thunder god. He evolved. He actually evolved. Aang. He'd finally reached that Kai Wong level of badassery, looking all kinds of handsome. But his power wasn't the explosive, in-your-face kind like the Red King's flag. Instead, it was a natural, demonic kryptonite kind of thunderous energy. A thunderous energy that was like, demons? No thanks. I'm good. Faced with Duzi's mighty, super-powered energy blast, he just casually flicked his wrist, and sliced Duzi's energy blast in half like it was nothing. Boom. Gone. Even when Duzi went full-on, fight for my life mode. Desperation power and everything. This guy just yawned and brushed it off like a fly. Effortless. Hold up, he says. Don't go lumping me in with these clowns. My job? To wipe out every last one of you chumps. Mic drop. Meanwhile, Duzi, little rascal that he is, was totally geeking out over this new guy. Like, whoa, who's this? So he's all, hey, who are you anyway? Curious little bean, C2Fei, also trying to figure things out, chimes in, are you, Aang? Aang just glances back at him. And then, bam, signature smirk, you know the one, it's me, Aang. This guy across from us is pretty tough. Fei, you're doing great. Suddenly, Aang's eyes lit up, looking at Fei's current state. Could it be that he also obtained demonic power? C2Fei kept warning, be careful, Aang. That guy on the other side is a dual-core demon. And not just any ordinary demon. He's a high-level demon with powerful abilities. Wang said, Fei, don't worry, a high-level demon. Huh? High-level demons are exactly what I deal with. Xiaoduzi also sensed the demonic aura emanating from Aang. You're also a warrior, and the aura around you is the same as that female warrior's. You both possess the aura of our demonic brethren. However, before he could finish, Aang interrupted him. What? Your aura? Don't you dare lump us in with your kind. We specialize in slaughtering beasts like you. Crackling lightning danced in his hands, sizzling with menacing energy. Little Bean's hair stood on end. This was getting freaky. His lightning, it's seriously creepy. He thought, gotta take this guy down. And fast. Before anyone could react, a massive wave of energy erupted from Little Bean. Aang looked completely bewildered. What just happened? C2Fei lunged forward to block the blast, but Aang stopped him with a hand to his forehead. Easy there, champ. You're still hurt. We've got this. Suddenly, furious white lightning crackled in Aang's hands. He roared, Thunder Serpent. Name, skillfully split Duzi's energy attack right down the middle, transforming it into two powerful, razor-sharp blades. The arena floor was sliced clean in two. As the smoke cleared, Duzi couldn't believe his eyes. That attack was pure, concentrated energy. How could it be split apart? What the heck was that lightning power? Even Named was surprised. Looks like this fusion, he thought, created something truly remarkable. This lightning energy seemed to have a natural advantage against demonic forces. He remembered the agonizing pain when the five elements fused within him. He felt like he was being obliterated, electrocuted from the inside out. The pain nearly knocked him unconscious. He thought it was just the elements clashing, but now he realized it was the birth of this mysterious lightning power. Now let's see what happens when we use it on a demon. I wonder what unexpected results it will bring. Hearing this, Little Bean scoffed disdainfully. Hey, you want to kill me? Aren't you overestimating yourself a little? You just blocked my attack. Now I'll let you taste the power of the core potential unleashed within me. It's funny to think, if Master saw me like this, he would probably scold me. Master, just think of Little Bean as disobedient. But right now, I'm going to enjoy the ultimate fighting power and blast these two humans into mincemeat. Hearing this, Aang looked puzzled. Core potential? It should be similar to a warrior's activated core power, boosting one's power to its maximum for a short time. It seems this guy is going for broke. In the next second, Little Bean crouched down, then stomped his foot, cracking the ground. With a bam, he launched himself into the air above the battlefield. A blue-violet afterimage was all that remained behind. Streaks of blue and violet energy swirled around him. Then, with a sudden burst of speed, he dodged Aang Lei Dian's attack. He glanced at Aang's position. Aang was half kneeling on the ground, lightning crackling around him. Little Bean's attack arrived in a flash. Hold it right there, he shouted. Instantly, a furious energy erupted from Little Bean. Aang could only defend himself with a shield of lightning, desperately blocking Little Bean's onslaught. Little Bean's attacks came in relentless waves. Aang was forced into a passive defense. He hadn't yet mastered his lightning powers, and Beansprouts got that agility core, making him a slippery little sucker. Landing a hit on him? Tougher than a week-old bagel. If this keeps up, this aerial dogfight's gonna be a total wash. We're talking zero chance of winning. Zilch. Nada. Aang can sprout wings. Sure, but they're about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Poof. Gone in a flash. Then, a light bulb. He remembers C2Fei. Wait a sec. What's your superpower again? But Beansprout's already popping the champagne corks. Way premature. Gotta hand it to you humans. He says, all smug. You've got a real knack for adapting to this demonic mojo. Color me impressed, but only a little. You're still just puny humans. Bottom of the barrel. Even with a power boost from my peeps. You think you're hot stuff? Think again. Chumps. You're about as intimidating as a wet noodle. Let me show you what real demonic power looks like. Prepare to be amazed, or terrified. Mostly terrified. And with that, boom, a swirling vortex of pure, unadulterated evil energy erupts behind him. This was his city flattening move. Folks, No joke. It's a shame that now I have to unleash the mighty evil god's whirlwind on you. With that, he unleashed a relentless barrage of spinning energy vortexes hurtling towards the duo. Aang shouted, "Now's our chance." He scooped up Situ Fei and bolted in the opposite direction. A sinister smirk crept across Little Bean's face. "Haha, you think you can escape? You'll never outrun my energy vortexes." In the blink of an eye, the terrifying energy engulfed them both. The entire city was left in ruins. Little Bean cackled, "Bullseye, you're finally toast." But as the dust settled, a black sphere materialized in the clearing. Little Bean gasped, "A dimensional portal? Could he?" Just then, Aang appeared above Little Bean's head. "Remember this, human warriors never back down. We fight to the bitter end. Finish him, finish him." Little Bean finally met his maker, thanks to a tag team takedown by Aang and Situ Fei. But as he faded away, he finally understood the true meaning of sadness. Oof, and that's the one feeling Master Ji Nio never wanted him to experience. Talk about tough love. Now, master and student are separated by the Great Divide, literally. But wait. Plot twist. You guessed it. Ji Nio didn't actually kick the bucket. He pulled a sneaky one, using his nifty resurrection powers. He basically hit reset. Brand new bod, ready to roll, but he lost his favorite student. Little Bean. Forever. Major bummer. So now, with Little Bean gone, the Red King Chi's existence is gonna be big news for the other King Chis. Uh-oh, did Red King Chi completely space on the fact that Purple King Chi can, come back from the dead? Oops, or was this all part of his master plan? Just moments ago, Aang unleashed a blinding white bolt of lightning. Pure, raw power. It slammed into Little Bean, sending him crashing into the earth. As the dust settled, Little Bean was left smoking. Literally smoking from all 7 orifices. He could barely speak. How is his lightning so incredibly strong? His entire body was paralyzed, locked up by the electricity. Aang then rocketed into the air, using Situ Fei's space-time cube to maintain his position high above. Lightning paralyzes, slows you down. Tonight, you die. Demon. Little Bean gritted his teeth. You dare kill me? If you kill me, my master will avenge me. He's practically immortal. But Aang just scoffed with a disdainful chuckle. Immortality? Please, I don't know who your master is. But if he dares to show his face, I'll kill him so many times. He'll beg for true death. Hearing this, Little Bean struggled to stand. Don't you dare underestimate my master. You have no idea how powerful he is. Aang remained unfazed, a picture of serene confidence. Strong, he says? We just need to be stronger. Simple. At these words, Little Bean completely lost it. Suddenly, Situ Fei, who had been watching from the side, spoke calmly. Allow me to lend you a hand. I'll give you a little extra push. With that, he activated his spatial manipulation ability. A sharp crack echoed through the air. A spatial cube propelled Aang's body forward at warp speed. Meanwhile, Lang gathered lightning energy in his hands. Aang roared, unleashing the Thunderbolt twin dragons. Electricity crackled, forming 2 wickedly sharp energy blades. As the electrical power surged, the blades transformed into 2 freaking electric dragons. They blasted towards Little Bean, diving straight into his poor little body. Boom. The place went kablooey. All that was left were 2 weapon cores inside Little Bean's remains. Ouch. Little Bean was pretty much toast. So much for being there. Done that, master. It hurts so much. Just then, memories of Master Spacebird flooded back. Good times. Whoa, jackpot. A mini-me, and he's got double cores. What a score. Haha. Today's my lucky day. You're gonna be my apprentice. Kiddo, I'll teach you all about evolution and that sweet art of disguise. Yeah, that's the stuff. The joy of messing with those clueless humans. Their fear and anger are like candy to a superior being, like me. I know, these are base instincts even low-level demons possess. Emotions. But master, what exactly is sadness? Hearing this question, Ji Nio responded thoughtfully. Not knowing sadness is a good thing. I truly hope you never experience such a feeling. Master, I've disappointed you. The thought of never seeing you again after death. That's what sadness feels like. Xiao Duzi finally understands this feeling now. It hurts so much. Master. Meanwhile, Aang returned to the surface. Finally taken care of. Though still a high-level demon in its growth phase, its power shouldn't be underestimated. Aang narrowed his eyes. To be able to fight him with the strength of a 4-core warrior. To fight to this extent, Finny is already quite strong. Looking at Stuffy's current body, he's accepted the power of the devil. I don't know if it's good or bad, but from now on, We must keep a close eye on him. Suddenly, Aang saw the wound on Stuffy's leg. Finny's injury is not serious. Is it? It's nothing serious. I've used the energy of the chlorine nucleus to stabilize the injury. But this injury is more serious. To fully recover, I need to find a quiet place. But just at this moment, a surge of energy suddenly came from the distance. It's the aura of a human warrior. And their strength is quite extraordinary. It should be the captain and warriors who left the city earlier. Coming back, this attack, it seems, this was a calculated move by that devil and his master. They pushed forward, luring all captain-level warriors out of the city. This night was likely part of their plan as well. We could have explained the situation with the devils to them earlier. We could have told them about the devil's plan, warned them that devils are not as simple as they think. There are powerful beings among the devils, some perhaps even stronger than the inhabited. There might be beings among them that we humans haven't even discovered yet. Hearing this, Aang chuckled slightly. This little lass finally realized it. Humanity's understanding of devils is still limited to level 7, and they don't understand the different types of devils. Take these high-level devils for example. Even though they're still growing, the power they've displayed is beyond 5 cores, is more than even 6 core warriors could handle. But on the other hand, in our current state, are you sure we should stay? Your demonic power, you can't control it yet. Can you? You should know that my strength, beyond that of ordinary warriors, comes from harnessing demonic power. Now you're the same as me. But the other human warriors don't know that. How do you think they'll treat us? Let's get out of here first. With that, he stomped, cracking the ground, and launched himself into the air. I'll find a place to get you healed. Then we'll continue on our journey. Meanwhile, back in the training room, Ji Niao's body suddenly twitched. His severed hand on the floor began to move slowly, crawling back towards his body. Around his body, waves of green healing energy emanated, but Ji Niao was incredibly weak. He barely managed to use the ground to push himself up, and crouched there, gasping for breath. Good thing I can regenerate. Otherwise, I would have been toast. Wang Qi is terrifyingly strong. I need to report this to Death. His Excellency, the evolution mission needs to be aborted, and Xiao Duzi brought back. But in the next moment, a sense of dread washed over him. Xiao Duzi's presence had vanished. Rage consumed him, learning who murdered his beloved apprentice. His protégé Xiao Duzi, the usually sunny Ji Niao, finally snapped. I will tear you both to shreds. Meanwhile, Kai Ang was playing nursemaid, tending to the wounded Situ Fei. Situ Fei's face flushed crimson. How dare he? No one has ever touched my feet before. Just moments ago, the city's captains returned to headquarters. The others dispersed, searching for clues about the incident. Citizens, please do not panic. A hazmat-suited analyst reported to the captain. Reporting. Captain, this is the core fragment we recovered. It appears to be from one of the 5 demonic horsemen, but it's completely drained of energy. Captain Wenyan looked perplexed. So it's basically useless junk? Analyze it anyway. See what information you can glean from it. This attack seems meticulously planned, and it also caused the death of many elite warriors. This arena, which became a battlefield, still exudes an incredibly astonishing demonic aura. This is definitely not an ordinary weapon demon. But the question is, who killed the demon? And judging by the aura, there's more than one demon this time. At this moment, the female vice captain suddenly spoke. Could it be a death match between demons? Perhaps a demon even deliberately protected the town? The analyst was still pondering. An incident is my time to shine. I feel like the captain has been intentionally paying attention to me lately. I definitely have a chance at the next promotion. But just then, a trace of purple energy suddenly appeared in the alley, and beckoned him over. Hearing these words, the analyst was frozen on the spot, and involuntarily walked towards the alley. The source of this aura was none other than Ji Niao, wise bird. He slowly spoke. Tell me about the situation at the arena. The language analyst mechanically reported. The demon that attacked the town seems to have been eliminated, but it's unclear who did it. As for the rest, I'm not too sure. Hearing this, Ji Niao pondered for a moment. Xiao Duzi, Little Bean, is dead. Could it be the work of the Crimson King? But if he had acted, the entire town would be gone. He then asked, what's in the box? The collected demon core fragments. Ji Niao immediately ordered it opened. Upon opening it, he saw 2 broken core fragments. It was like looking at Xiao Duzi's corpse. Let me see who dared to kill him. He immediately activated his sword soul skill. As the fragments surged, waves of purple energy, more like a freaking purple tsunami, filled the sky. Sword soul, being all psychic and stuff, hacks into the core's mainframe. Basically, it can see the core owner's last moments. Like a cosmic DVR, the more intact the core, the more juicy deets and scenes you get. Think director's cut. Otherwise, it's like watching a trailer on dial-up. Then, a scene materializes in front of Smarty Bird like a cosmic PowerPoint. Bam! There's Aang and Stuffy, looking all dramatic. I don't know who your master is. Tough guy. But if he even thinks about laying a finger on, I'll kill him, repeatedly, until he's deader than disco. Master. Burdened by such feelings, dramatic sigh. Little Bean finally gets it. The feels hit hard. He sees the bird, and goes full Hulk smash. Rage-o-meter pegged. You puny human warrior. Slices analyst in half like a deli sandwich talk to the hand. 'Cause the face is gone. Before I go back and report to the king about holding Wang Chi. The only thing I need to do now is to kill you pathetic humans. Meanwhile, with Wang's side, at this moment, Wang is carefully treating Situ Fei's leg wound. This battle drained you too much. You haven't recovered enough to heal your injuries. My healing attribute is no worse than your discipline and recovery ability. Just leave it to me. Situ Fei's face flushed red. No one had ever touched his feet before, let alone by another guy. So next, where should we go? Wang contemplated for a moment. The original purpose of this trip was for the elemental core, and now the fusion is successful. Perhaps I should hit the road again. Time to gather some intel. Situ Fei, hearing this, looked puzzled. Intel? What kind of intel? Aang started to explain, then stopped abruptly. Right, besides Lena, nobody knows I've been reborn. Not a soul. So Situ Fei was clueless about Aang's plan to rescue the imprisoned lord. Going up against the new king and the 6 lords? That's, if Situ Fei knew, would he even be on my side? Aang casually dismissed the question. Nothing much. I'll just be more efficient working solo. With your current strength, you're practically a 4-surge warrior. It's time I reported back to the Jiyao squad captain. Situ Fei, intrigued, asked, You're going alone? Aang nodded in agreement. But first, I'll go back with you. I have something to discuss with the captain of the Jiyao Tang. Your wounds are healed now, but you might experience some soreness after the muscle reconstruction. Take it easy and rest for a while. 3 days later, the two returned to Herlo's city. Keiko was bored, swatting at flying birds. So boring. I wonder when Aang and Fei will be back. It's really too dull without them. Jian Zhuang Li Ji smiled faintly. They're probably busy leveling up. Keiko, and we can't fall behind them. Keiko replied, I know, but it really is boring. I want to go out and train too. Leveling up in Herlo's city all day is way too slow. But just then, a voice suddenly called out, If you think it's slow, as your fearless leader, how about I take you guys out for a level up session? Wen Yan Hizzy, ever the voice of reason, immediately glanced towards the door. Standing in the doorway was none other than Situ Fei. Fei, you're finally back. I have returned. Seeing him, the two immediately ran over. Dude, you're back. Where's everyone else? Situ Fei offered a faint smile. As for him, he went to go have a little chat with Captain Ji Yao Tang. He's requesting to renounce his status as a Herlo's city warrior. Hearing this, the two wore expressions of utter disbelief. What? Renounce his warrior status? The boy barely moved a muscle. Yet he left the instructors on the field completely stunned. All because the boy, using only one hand, blocked the instructor's attack. After just a single round, the competing instructor was completely defenseless. He then said with a look of disdain, I suggest the 3 of you instructors come at me together. But what angered the instructors even more was that the boy asked to revoke his hero's city warrior status. Just now, Aang went to the Radiant Hall instructor and explained his intentions. Hearing this news, the Radiant Hall instructor was shocked. Revoke your city warrior status? It's not impossible to revoke it, but you must have a valid reason. Seeing this, Joel smiled slightly. So, now that your level is higher, you look down on our hero's city? Wen Yanon hurriedly waved his hands. No, battalion commander, you misunderstand. I'm not some ungrateful backstabber. It's just, what I'm about to do is kinda delicate. I don't want to drag you all down with me. Or, the entire city of heroes. No pressure. This bombshell dropped. Instructor Hongmao's face was a picture of confusion. Drag us down? Heroes? What in the blazes? Aang, care to elaborate? Just a smidge? Giving up your warrior status isn't exactly a walk in the park. Aang scratched his head, looking utterly lost. Truth was, he had no clue how to explain this mess. If he spilled the beans, they'd probably think he was straight up crazy. Or worse, he couldn't exactly tell them, hey guys, so I got reincarnated, and I'm planning a coup against King What's-His-Face number 6. Surprise. So Aang just went with, look, it's complicated, okay? Just trust me on this. I have my reasons. Seriously. I'm just trying to save your bacon. Feathers? Instructor Jiaotong. Hearing this cryptic plea, I was practically doing the wave right there in my seat. But Joel just looked all nonchalant. The little punk. He's got that same rebellious streak I had back in the day. But red-haired drill sergeant over there was about to blow a gasket. So, let me get this straight. Joel, you're just gonna go along with this? He then shot a look at Desperate for Candy over there. Aren't you gonna say something to him? What if he's going off to do something dangerous? What then? Huh? Desperate for Candy drill sergeant's face was serious as a heart attack. Then, with a groan, he stood up. It's not that we don't trust you, Joel, it's that we're worried. Tell you what, if you can beat the three of us, we'll let you go. Deal? Red-haired drill sergeant just scratched his head. Defeated. Looks like he had to let these knuckleheads have their way. But Joel looked a little sheepish. Well, thing is, I'm kinda strong now. You know, really strong. But the three instructors smirked simultaneously. How about we change things up a bit? Consider this a little strength assessment after your time away. Which one of us wants a piece of this action? But Aang, brimming with confidence, declared, tell you what, to really put your minds at ease. Instructors, let's do all three of you at once. Meanwhile, with Situ Fei, you're saying Brother Aang is leaving Herlo City? And he's ditching his warrior status here too? So, that means, Brother Aang is cutting ties with us completely? Keiko had a gut feeling that something seriously shady was going on with Aang. Situ Fei hung his head. Defeated. Aang didn't give me the full story. But on the way back, Aang told me he had something he needed to do. Nowadays, this might seem a tad bit unconventional. Let's just say it's not exactly something folks would line up to endorse. It's all about Aang and his past escapades. Back in the day, he decided to poke the bear. Very big, powerful bear. Think top 1% kind of bear. He was basically playing a real-life game of Don't Tickle the Dragon, but with higher stakes. And, oh yeah, he had to bail out his BFF from said bear's clutches. Classic hero move, right? So, to avoid turning Hero's City into Bear Chow Central, he's back to hand in his warrior badge. Basically saying, I'm out. Peace. Situ Fei's jaw hit the floor. Talk about a plot twist. He's all like, whoa, hold up. You really gotta ditch the warrior gig. Aang, maybe we can, like, lend a hand? We're pretty good at bear wrangling. Metaphorically speaking, of course. But Aang's like, nah, fam, appreciate the offer. But, you guys are sweet. But you're playing checkers and this is a freaking chess match with a bear who also happens to be a grandmaster. Even if you knew the whole shebang, which you don't, you'd be bringing a spork to a lightsaber duel. Ouch. Burn. That's all I got. Story time's over. Mic drop. Don't ask me for any more deeds. 'Cause I'm drawing a blank. Crickets. You could hear a pin drop. Well, that was awkward. Guess we just got served a big ol' slice of humble pie. Thanks, Aang. Ever since I met this dude, he's always looking out for his teammates. A real one. Willing to take a bullet for the team. He's someone I can always learn from. A true inspiration. He must have his reasons for doing what he did. Li Ji clenched his fists. Frustration etched on his face. But this feeling of not being able to rely on him. It just sucks. Big time. I'm not giving up. Keiko suddenly spoke up. Fei, you've always been the one who hates losing the most. That's why I respect you so much. Seriously. Mad respect. Are you really going to just give up now? Throw in the towel? Why don't you let us help you redeem yourself? Get some payback. Li Ji chimed in. Yeah, exactly. There are 4 of us in this squad. We haven't even had a chance to really work together yet. Do some damage. How can we just disband like this? Call it quits? Situ Fei listened, a look of exasperation on his face. You guys, seriously? Hizzy pulled out a group photo of the 4 of them. A 4-person squad can't be missing a member. Can it? Hearing this, Situ Fei's mouth twitched slightly. That's right. That Aang wants to go off on his own again. We can't let him run wild this time. Let's go find him now. The warrior's actual battlefield isn't bad. As expected, after venturing out, his horizons have broadened. He doesn't take the 3 of us instructors seriously at all. But don't underestimate us. We are Herlo's City's guardians. Herlo City's irresistibly charming guardian trio. As soon as these words were spoken, the 2 felt dumbfounded. No one comes up with such a strange nickname. Not serious at all. You made up this nickname yourself, didn't you? Oh, you guys are really boring. Jian Zhuang Aang just smiled slightly. Excuse me, captains, but how will we determine the winner? The 3 spoke in unison. Naturally. By defeating the opponent with all our might. Do you think we're joking with you this time? If you insist on revoking your city warrior status, identity, then consider this an assessment. Although we know you're a talented warrior, and your strength has grown considerably, challenging all three of us at once is a bit arrogant, don't you think? Aang simply gave an embarrassed smile. Then, captains, please instruct me. Heh. Young warrior, you're a bit too cocky right now. Let's teach you a lesson today. With that said, the three instructors charged at Aang. Since this is an assessment, then although you are known as Unlucky Aang, but we absolutely can't go easy on him because of that. Don't worry, I also want to see if he has the strength to go solo. No translation needed. Sound effect. You two should also take me seriously as the vanguard. With that said, he stomped his foot, shattering the ground. In the blink of an eye, he attacked Aang's head, but Aang didn't panic at all. In the next second, with Aang as the center, a violent red energy suddenly burst forth. No translation needed. Name. He easily caught the Extreme Shining Hall instructor's fist. Even the Extreme Shining Hall instructor's fist trembled uncontrollably. The Extreme Shining Hall instructor was shocked. How is this possible? Captain, I told you, all three of you should come at me together. Busted. Aang finally showed his true. Aang accidentally let his demon form slip in front of the instructors. With just one blow, he sent three instructors flying like bowling pins. Oops. Did someone say, demon form? Now everyone knows Aang's little secret. The instructors, naturally, freaked out and labeled him a demon. So Aang had to do some serious explaining, and maybe a little begging. But wait, there's more. Turns out Situ Fei also got a demon power upgrade. Talk about a coincidence. He spun a yarn, claiming they absorbed some magical element crystals. Crystals? Sure, let's go with that. It was the only way to convince the instructors they weren't dealing with actual demons. Just moments ago, two onlookers witnessed the whole shebang and their jaws hit the floor. This kid just caught Tang Gang's attack with one hand. Just how powerful has he become? The two stomped the ground, unleashing their own power. Their core energy exploded outward. Time to get serious. Looks like a one-on-one fight isn't gonna cut it. The three instructors knew they had to team up, unleashed a combined attack. Seeing this, Aang instantly transformed into his devil form. He had to avoid directly hitting the three instructors. Seeing Aang's devil form, the instructors' eyes widened in shock. In just one round, Aang sent the three instructors flying. Aang then retracted his devil powers, and softly whispered, "Tomb." Suddenly, countless massive vines sprouted from the ground, and firmly caught the three falling instructors. The instructors were dumbfounded by this scene. What was going on? Joel finally noticed Aang's devil form. No wonder I felt something was strange about you during the Devil's Dynasty attack. You're a devil, Aang calmly responded. Captains, please calm down. I've already demonstrated my abilities. Please, believe me, I'm not a bad guy. Let me explain everything. Captain Chi Yaotong, you should remember that Situ Fei and I went on a mission together. We were supposed to be buying an old castle. Ji Yaotang's memory clicked into gear. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember now. I assigned him to you for protection on your journey. Well, Aang continued, at the castle, I found this elemental crystal, and somehow, I accidentally refined it. That's how I got these crazy powers. And, well, this new look. Situ Fei got some of that crystal power too. Got himself a little upgrade. But, when he uses his powers, both of us change. That was Aang's story. Coming back was part of the plan with Situ Fei. That's the only way to explain this pain. And about the elemental crystal, the three instructors knew about it. This explanation makes a lot more sense. We can't exactly tell them the truth, that we embraced the power of a demon. Hearing this, the red-haired instructor's jaw dropped. Fei, that little girl also gained a power similar to yours? So then, her current strength. Wen Yanang slowly said, she hasn't fully mastered her abilities yet. She'll need more practice. She's currently around the level of a quad-core warrior. Upon hearing this, the three instructors were dumbfounded. The red-haired instructor then quickly asked, so that means, your strength is even greater than Fei's? So, your current strength is. Wen Yanong slowly closed his eyes. The red core in his chest slowly emerged. In human form, I'd say I'm about a 5 fusion warrior. But if I use demonic power to fuel my elemental abilities, then it's hard to say. Perhaps somewhere between a 5 fusion and a 6 fusion. Wen Yan Joel's face was full of astonishment. I can hardly believe it. I've heard of elemental crystals before. Having the strength to obtain them isn't enough. You also need the fate to be chosen by them. It seems both these children have found their respective destinies. A quad-core warrior and a penta-core warrior. Our Herlo's city has finally produced some real talent. But just then, Hong Mao felt puzzled. Why was the esteemed Tang Tang remaining silent? Aang also looked questioningly at instructor Captain Ji Yaotong. What's wrong, sir? Wen Yanji Yaotong narrowed his eyes, chuckles softly. Don't worry, I'm truly proud of you all. This just reminds me of years ago, when my little brother was about your age. Back then, Hero's City faced a minor demonic incursion. My brother, he was taken by the demons. By the time we found him, he was already cold, lifeless. From that day forward, I swore to myself that I would become strong. A true warrior, someone who could protect those I cared about. As a human warrior, the greater your strength, the greater your responsibility. Aang finally understood. Captain Ji Yaotong had endured such a tragic past. Could it be, when their squad was kidnapped by demons, I heard the Ji Yao Tang captain went crazy looking for me. It seems, he must have remembered the place he lost. But then, the Ji Yao Tang captain continued, although I don't know why you cancelled your Hero's City Warrior status. You haven't been overwhelmed by this power. Instead, you've mastered it and shouldered your responsibilities well. As your former squadmates, Fei and I are very proud of you. Instructor Hongmao interrupted him. Hold on, Captain Tang, are you saying, I agree with Aang giving up his Hero's City Warrior status. I trust the kid knows what he's doing. Let's not pry too much. They have their own choices and futures to make. After bidding farewell to the three instructors, Aang drove away from Herlo's city alone. The red-haired instructor wondered, did that kid really just leave like that? Remember during the assessment, he looked like a weakling. Couldn't handle a stiff breeze. It hasn't been that long. It's quite remarkable to think about. How far do you think he'll go this time? Joel squinted and smiled slightly. Although I don't know how far he can go now. But we certainly can't keep him here. Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but that Aang fellow always reminds me of that great being. Looking at Aang's departing figure, perhaps the achievements he can reach in the future might even surpass that being of the past. Meanwhile, Aang was pondering. Next, I need to at least reach the Luhe realm. A rescue plan with a high chance of success is always preferred. There seems to be demonic activity nearby. If we can gather more demon cores, then perhaps an upgrade is possible. But just then, a sudden banging came from the car trunk. Just as Aang Yi Huo Gg, an arm abruptly reached out from the trunk. What the heck? Aang widened his eyes and looked carefully. It was none other than Situ Fei. It was so stuffy in the trunk, he couldn't stand it anymore. Fortunately, Fei told us. Aang, you were trying to ditch us again. Aang, you're such a jerk. Hearing this, Aang was completely dumbfounded. When did you guys sneak into the trunk? We're back. Y'all been clamoring for Verlina, and she's finally back in the house. But hold up, let's pour one out for our girl Verlina for a sec. Cuz Aang's back, and he ain't here for a social call. Nah, he needs a favor. Big time. He wants Verlina to whip these three newbies into shape, make him weapon-wielding warriors. Pronto, so they can, save the world from impending doom or something. Meanwhile, he's gonna peace out and level up solo. Classic Aang. But plot twist, Aang wasn't expecting Wang Chi to drop a major bombshell. Dude straight up revealed his true form. Right in front of Aang. Just now, seeing Situ Fei and the crew roll up, Aang had no choice but to slam on the brakes. Situ Fei, being the captain and all, clears his throat all dramatically. Talking about respecting the team's opinions. Aang loses it. Full-on Hulk smash mode. Yo, didn't we already agree on this in the car? Beefcake Situ Fei ain't having it. Yells right back. Yeah, but I didn't want you to stress. Man, saying this, he turned his head slightly. I just don't want the team to break up like this. This fool doesn't understand anything. Hearing these words, Aang had a dumbfounded expression. Keiko, who was standing beside them, quickly took a picture of the two. Li Ji and I were practically dreaming of you in the city. And yet you go on a trip outside Hefei. Come back, and then want to leave the team again? What do you take us for? I absolutely disagree this time. Seeing this, Li Ji also chimed in from the side. That's right, brother Aang, since we're a team, your problems are our problems. Keiko also interjected. Exactly. I also want to help you out. If there's something dangerous, you shouldn't shoulder it alone. With everyone saying so much, Aang could only scratch his head helplessly. I just can't with you guys. Well, you're right. As part of the squad, I should tell you about my situation. I can't tell you about the reincarnation thing just yet, but you can decide whether or not you accept the rest. Aang said seriously. You'll probably make your decision after you hear this. What I'm doing isn't simple. It would be too dangerous to involve you. Hearing Aang's plan, Keiko and Richie were dumbfounded. What? You want to rescue Lord Phantom? Who's imprisoned by the new king? Aang confirmed. Yes, that's my secret. Now that you all know, this isn't something that's publicly acceptable. So, do you still intend to? But what Aang didn't expect was, without hesitation, Hizzy and Li Zhixiang both jumped on board. This is insane. Rebelling against the new king and rescuing the old hero? That's my bro Aang for you. He's been hiding such an amazing secret. I don't understand all the details, but I trust Aang. Si Tu Fei then trotted over. Wait up, I'm in too. Seeing their enthusiasm, Aang, filled with a mix of excitement and apprehension, urged them to pause. Hold on, are you sure you understand my plan? This is rebellion against the current king we're talking about. This could cost us our heads. Wen Yan spoke with a rational and serious tone. We, the citizens of Herlo's city, are loyal followers of the former king. In fact, without the previous king, there would be no Herlo's city today. Si Tu Fei suddenly added, my grandfather, Si Tu Jian, was a subordinate of one of the 6 heroes. He served under the previous king, and helped found Hero's City with several comrades. So I believe my father would also approve of me going. Hearing the name Si Tu Jian, Aang's memory was jogged. No wonder the surname Si Tu sounded familiar. Now it all makes sense. It's that kid. He was always at the forefront when fighting demons. I remember when the 6 heroes first brought him to me. He was so nervous and childish. So much time has passed in a blink of an eye. At this point, Aang could only compromise. Very well then, but if you want to join me, your current strength is far from sufficient. If you want to help me, I need to take you to meet someone. Wen Yan and the other 2 were filled with excitement. Who's this Verlina chick? Former top dog of the 6 Great Laws and a 7 Flags warrior? And Aang's supposed BFF in battle? The gang's jaws hit the floor when they finally see Verlina. Total letdown. I'm gonna take a gazillion pictures of Verlina. Hold up. Bro, how did Aang even meet this legendary figure? And why'd he pick her to whip us into shape? But Lena chimes in, all calm and collected. How much stronger they get in a short time isn't up to me. It's all on these 3 knuckleheads. You sure you want to drag these 3 around? They might have potential, but right now, they're about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. No worries, says Aang. They're my squad this time around. We'll make it work. Then she slowly closes her eyes. No translation needed. Describing a visual. It's like deja vu all over again. Looks like Aang's about to become the leader of the pack, again. And you just can't ignore everyone else. Speaking of which, he glanced back at Aang. I heard you successfully fused with that elemental crystal, and even researched the lightning element. Although this body is not as strong as before, it's not a total disappointment. Wen Yan Aang pointed to himself with a happy face. Who am I? I'm Aang. Seeing Aang's expression, Lena froze in place, but then she recovered. Yeah, you're still you, that all-powerful guy. Watching their conversation, the 3 couldn't help but wonder. I can't hear what they're saying, but isn't Verlina supposed to be really old? Why does she look the same age as us? At this time, Si Tu Fei explained, it's because of the Green River. It restores and maintains the body in its youngest state. This is something only he can pull off. Wolf's aiming to become a level 6 warrior, and the goal for training these 3 is that before the operation, we gotta get them to at least level 5. Otherwise, they're just walking into a meat grinder. Hearing level 5, their jaws hit the floor. For kids from a hick town like Heroes, that's like aiming for the moon, something they wouldn't even dream of in their wildest fantasies. But now, the opportunity's staring them right in the face. So, according to the plan, they're your responsibility. I still need to level up myself. Solo mission, and I need to find something to help them boost their power even further. Something big. Hearing this, Lena gives a relieved smile. Leave their training to me. This is gonna be one heck of a challenge. To level up quickly in a short amount of time, we might have to resort to the old training methods. It's gonna be tough. Really tough. You guys better brace yourselves. Aang then left the Dawnlight Factory. He drove towards the wilderness. If he could find more elemental crystals, and combine them with the dual-core equipment, it might lead to unexpected results. But just then, Wang Chi's figure materialized in the passenger seat. Thanks to you merging with that crystal, I've recovered some of my strength. As for the crystals you mentioned, I do know a little something. Mining them, Aang and Wangchi ended up running together, looking all chummy and whatnot. But their posture seemed a little sus. And from Wangchi's words, even more shocking news was revealed. Even the core within Small Bean is merely the lowest level core. If they want to ascend to become high-level demons, they can only achieve it by fusing with rare enchanted demon cores. But enchanted demon cores can only be obtained from dual-core demons above level 6. Besides the few king banners, including the Red King banner, the other demons are merely chaotic products of the ancient King's Cup. Just now, regarding the appearance of the Red King banner, Aang wasn't too surprised. Why did you suddenly appear? I remember you still needed to slumber for a while longer. Hearing this, the Red King banner responded indifferently. thanks to your cleverness, digesting that so-called elemental crystal unexpectedly provided me with some spiritual energy. It's a shame that this spirit is still too weak. Plus, last time, I casually helped you solve a little problem, which consumed the remaining spirit." Aang looked perplexed and helpless. The Crimson King's wife could only close her eyes. "Forget it. You wouldn't understand even if I told you. I won't bother arguing with you. About the crystal you mentioned, using your method, you'd probably not find even one in a year. I can help you find several in a short time, with similar effects." Hearing this, Aang suddenly slammed on the brakes. The car quickly came to a stop. Aang asked angrily, "What method do you have? And why are you helping me? What's your ulterior motive?" But Wang Qi just glared at Aang. "Can we get a heads up next time there's a gathering?" Jianan pouted, nudging his head towards Aang. "Whose fault is it for not wearing your seatbelt?" At that moment, Kai Wang Qi chimed in. "A while back, didn't you fight a Xuanghe demon?" Aang's face registered shock at these words. "Yeah, something like that happened, but from what I can see now, even inside me, you weren't completely blocking out information from the outside world." Wang Qi gave Aang a dismissive glance. "It's just that the Xuanghe demon you fought was too low level. Otherwise, you would have already gotten an enchanted box." Hearing the term, enchanted box, Aang's face was filled with confusion. He quickly asked, "What's an enchanted box? Is it something like an elemental crystal?" Kai Wang Qi then patiently explained, "It's only stronger, not weaker. You should know that ordinary demons evolve by fusing with demons of the same rank, or higher, but evolved demons, also known as high-ranking demons, only level up by fusing with rare enchanted cores. If you want to help your three little buddies increase their power, then, for you human warriors, refining this enchanted core will naturally grant you immense power instantly." Upon hearing this, Aang suddenly understood. "You're saying the demons I fought were too low level? Do I need to fight a level 6 demon? And how do I refine an enchanted core? Like me, sense its core energy, and then resonate and fuse with it? No, no, no. It's not like that. It needs to be at least 6 dual-core demons. Only dual-core demons with 6 or more cores have an enchantment box inside them." Wen Yanang immediately curled his lip. "What's your angle? Why would you reveal such important information to me? Are you planning to suddenly strike and snatch the enchantment box? Then gain energy to control my body? Aren't you a demon too? Betraying your own kind like this, doesn't it bother you?" Hearing this, the Crimson King just chuckled. "Except for a few royal demons, including myself, the rest are just chaotic rabble from that broken monument. Forget it. You simply don't understand our abyss. Even if I told you, you wouldn't get it. Besides, you underestimate me." "My own parents?" Peeved, I couldn't even be bothered to glance at them. Wang Qi abruptly stopped mid-sentence. And then, he just crawled over to Aang. "Didn't I tell you before?" Aang, witnessing this bizarre scene, was completely dumbfounded. What are you doing? What are you trying to do?" Suddenly, a whoosh sound. Wang Qi slammed his hand down on Aang's arm. "I told you, I'm inside you, in your heart, in your mind, in this life. You are me, and I am you." Cue dramatic music. "You want to evolve? Your wish is my command. Because your evolution is my evolution. You getting stronger means I get stronger too. Duh, so don't question my good intentions. Okay, get it?" Aang, completely overwhelmed by Wang Qi, couldn't even resist, crushed by Wang Qi's dominance. Is this Wang Qi's true power? Even weakened as he was, he could still pin me down with one hand. But he snapped, "Get away from me, you demon. Being so close to me, doesn't it disgust you?" Wang Qi slowly released his grip. "You stubborn human," he said, "ask your questions quickly. Where can I find the 6 horsemen? And the twin demons? Don't you know high-ranking demons are elusive and unpredictable? Quite mysterious. Really." But Wang Qi seemed unimpressed. "Why are you humans always so impatient? I won't help you find them. Wouldn't want to attract something you can't handle. I'll give you the method to find them. But achieving your goal depends on your own strength." Wen Yanang pondered. 6 riding bicorn and demons of that high level. I know, although I'm not exactly thrilled about going there. And it's quite risky. If what you say is true, it's a risk worth taking. So let's go now. Wait, could you help me with this? The seatbelt you mentioned? Soon, Aang's vehicle arrived outside Dawn City. Let's park the car here. This is right at the edge of town. Perfect. It was Wang Qi who spoke up. Until you get the enchanted box, I won't appear. Appearing takes too much out of me. Although I don't know your exact plan, I still need to warn you. After you get the enchanted box, don't get any wacky ideas about letting your buddies forcefully try to comprehend or refine it. That'll just make their minds go boom. Poof. Gone. Hearing this, Aang had a look of impatience. Dude, So much blah blah blah. He grumbled and started walking away. But, suddenly Kai Wang-chi yelled. Hold up, wait a sec, could you, maybe help a brother out and unbuckle this darn safety belt? Ouch, the mighty Kai Wang-chi actually needs my help? What is this, bizarro world? Aang thought. Suddenly, Aang had a light bulb moment. Hey, can you, change my appearance? This time, I gotta find a way to join some high-level monster hunting missions. So I can't use my old look anymore. After all, at the Demon Hunter convention, I sorta, pissed off some serious VIPs. Oh, and if you can, maybe hook me up with a sweet new weapon too? Something that goes, boom, would be nice. This giant sword is pretty rad. Not gonna lie, but it's kinda like trying to parallel park a semi, not quite enough oomph. Hearing this, the Crimson King grinned. Since we're practically besties now, consider this a little, bro helping bro, action. With that, he transformed into a streak of crimson energy, whooshing into Aang's body like a caffeinated ferret. Aang nearly tripped over his own feet from the sudden jolt. But hey, new look unlocked. Dude went from zero to hero in 0.5 seconds. Talk about a glow up. The energy surged, wrapping around Aang's arm, and spreading like wildfire throughout his entire body. And just like that, Aang went full on makeover montage. New hair. Who dis? Oh, and about this sword you're rocking, treat her right. She's royalty. Her name's Crimson Dynasty. Don't go scratching her on any old demons. Alright? Aang smirked, a mischievous glint in his eye. Thanks, you magnificent jerk. The demon grabbed Crimson Dynasty's hilt with a confident grip. Alright, newbie. Time to join the monster mashing squad and get your feet wet. Here we go. Show us what you got. While tagging along with the demon demolishing crew, our hero finally, boom, action. The 5 core warriors standing by were like, whoa, did that just happen? Jaws dropped, eyes popped. Cuz these Killer Clan dudes, they were tough cookies. 5 cores couldn't even touch him. But then Aang shows up. 1 hit, 1 kill. Demon squad? More like demon squashed. Poof. Sliced and diced like a veggie platter. Bye-bye, baddies. Just a moment ago, Aang strolls into the Dawn City training grounds. Cool as a cucumber, the lead warrior steps up. All official like, welcome, brave warriors. Sign up here to join the epic demon purge. Help us clean up this demonic mess. Must have at least 4 cores. No weaklings allowed. Sweet loot and major bragging rights for anyone who slays some demons. Alright, everyone, line up nice and orderly. No pushing or shoving. Aang, chillin' in the crowd, thinks out loud. Look at all these wannabe demon slayers. All shapes and sizes. But hey, when it comes to demon hunting, the more the merrier, right? Lead warrior dude keeps on yappin'. To all you fine warriors here for the demon purge, thanks for coming to the party. Let's kick some demon butt. I'm Ran Yang, in charge of this sweep and clear operation. Seeing the 6 red emblems on Ran Yang's chest, everyone was stunned. Captain Ran Yang himself was leading the charge this time. It seemed something serious was afoot. They say he once took on a 5-banner and a 4-banner unit single-handedly. And even chopped off the heads of the 5-banner leader. This guy's a total badass. Wicked strong. Plus, Dawn City warriors are generally tougher than outsiders. Not to mention, they're all elite fighters. Every single one of them. Just then, Ran Yang began to explain the reason for the operation. A few days ago, our demon tracking squad lost contact due north of Dawn City. In the Decayed Forest, 3 kilometers out, a 6-man squad, and not a single one has returned. The recon squad was led by Ming Lan and a 5-core warrior. A seasoned veteran who's fought alongside me for years. The rest of the team were all top-tier 4-core warriors. They've had a spotless record for years. Never a single incident. Based on their last transmission, it's highly likely they encountered some seriously powerful demons. We're talking weapon demons, at the very least, and we can't rule out the possibility of dual-core demons. There might even be a high-level demon in the mix. Regardless, this poses a significant threat to transport around Dawn City. A major threat. We can't spare any more warriors from within the city. So, we need you outside warriors to step up. Wen Yanang quickly assessed the situation. Dual-core possibility. At least 5 core. Meaning, we could be looking at a dual-core 6-armed demon. As Wang Qi mentioned earlier, the enchantment and at least double harmony are abilities only the 6 horsemen of the apocalypse could possess. Captain Ran Yang continued, as human warriors, we must always be prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice. But we must bring them back. Dead or alive. This time, we must eliminate these demons. I've made the situation clear. If any warrior is willing, step forward and stay behind. We'll organize the Dui Wu and depart immediately. We must return before sunset. Quickly, including Aang. The warriors prepared to depart. The city's people cheered and saw them off, shouting, "Eradicate the demons, ensure the squad's triumphant return." As the giant gate slowly opened, a group of human warriors, and so, the epic quest to whoop some demon butt began. After hoofing it for about 5 kilometers, they noticed the place was crawling with demons. Like, seriously infested. One warrior, feeling like Captain Obvious, decided to point out the obvious. "Alright, listen up, you magnificent meatheads. Stick to the group like glue. Got it? Unless you have a sudden urge to become Demon Chow. Trust me, it won't be pretty." "He's got a point," someone muttered. Demons are kind of dicks. They'd barely cleared the city gates when they attracted the attention of every demon in a 5-mile radius. Talk about a welcoming committee. But some warriors, bless their clueless little hearts, were all like, "PSH, demons? Please, yo." Captain Ran Yang, one brave, or stupid, soul piped up. "Don't treat us like total noobs. Man, we got a whole posse of badass warriors here. Those demons are practically walking XP." Ran Yang, upon hearing this brilliant strategical analysis, was not amused. "You absolute imbeciles," he roared. "Shut your yaps before you attract every hellhound in the underworld." No sooner were the words spoken than the soldier was skewered like a shish kebab by a white spike. Kablam! The female warrior's jaw dropped faster than a lead balloon. Captain Ran Yang immediately recognized the culprit. "Sand demon," he exclaimed. "These nasty critters are native to the desert. They're ambush predators, lurking beneath the sand like tiny, pointy landmines." But as soon as he finished, the surrounding sand erupted in a flurry of mini volcanoes. The green-haired warrior's eyes widened in terror. "Sand demons. We've been ambushed. We're surrounded." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Countless yellow sand demons burst from the earth like caffeinated gophers. The warriors braced themselves for battle. "Damn it," Captain Ran Yang cursed. They were completely surrounded, outnumbered, and outpointed. And there's so many of them. This is practically a small-scale demon horde. So Ran Yang immediately ordered a retreat. "Everyone, remember, don't engage them alone. Fight in groups of several people." Under Ran Yang's battalion's lead, several demons were quickly annihilated on the spot. "Just a bunch of low-level 3-rider killer demons," he said, as the core in his chest suddenly erupted with a blinding light. Immediately afterward, he charged towards the demon horde, slaughtering them. "Not even worth my attention." But then, a soldier noticed the captain and shouted, "We've been scattered by the demons. The situation isn't good." Hearing this, Ran Yang immediately commanded everyone to regroup and fight together. "If we're scattered, we'll be slowly worn down and eliminated." Until then, they could only pray for their own safety. Seeing a green-haired soldier about to die, sensing the danger, Aang leapt into action. The rescued soldier was completely stunned. "Holy moly, is this dude even human? One hit KO'd a bunch of those sand demon things." To green-hair McWarrior over there, "Aang's looking like a total god of war right now." Aang just casually strolls up, grabs a demon by the throat like it's NBD, and asterisk snap. Demon's got a brand new neck vent. Meanwhile, Greenie's just sitting there like a stunned mullet. Beefcake Aang's all, "Dude, Earth to Greenie, get your fuzzy butt in gear and catch up." Green-hair McWarrior finally snaps out of it. "What about you, man? Aren't you coming with us? The squad's getting way ahead, and the demon horde's getting bigger by the second." Just then, another soldier yells, "Move it, Greenie, you got time to chit-chat while we're about to become Demon Chow?" Aang just smirks, watches everyone scram, and then, bam, his eyes glow with a spooky white light, and finally decided to stop hiding his true power. Perfect timing, too, because it's actually easier to slay demons solo. Less paperwork. I just casually offed a few little demon spawns, and everyone just lost their freaking minds. Jaws on the floor. The whole 9 yards. Why? Because even Captain Ran Yang, a total badass 6 harmony warrior, couldn't handle these demons without getting his armor scuffed. Dude couldn't even escape with a clean shirt. Meanwhile, me, just your average, run-of-the-mill 5 harmony warrior. Cough. Little did they know, my hidden power level was already way past average 5 or even 6 harmony warrior status. I could even go toe-to-toe with a decent 7 harmony warrior. And probably win. Just sayin'. Speaking of which, at the same time, over with the other demon slayers, a certain 4 harmony warrior was about to become Demon Chow. Helpless, he could only try his best to fend off the demon's attacks. But just at this critical moment, fortunately, Captain Ran Yang stepped forward and rescued him from the demon's clutches. Kid, use your eyes. Stick with the squad. Don't fall behind again. You won't be so lucky next time. After clearing out the surrounding sand demons, Captain Ren Yong quickly gathered the remaining personnel. He gathered them, and just then, the two stranded soldiers returned from afar. Captain Ren Yong, we were separated by the monsters earlier. Hearing this, Ren Yong immediately ran over. Are you alright? Are there any other soldiers behind you? Green Hair immediately responded. Yes, Captain. There's another soldier. An outsider. He saved us. He stayed behind to cover our retreat. He's staying behind alone to deal with the remaining demons. Dye Beard, upon hearing this, was instantly furious. One man staying behind? That's utterly ridiculous. Why didn't he retreat with you all? The vice captain behind him said helplessly. He must be some inexperienced outsider. Brave, sure, but that's just throwing his life away. Then Green Hair continued. Judging by the scale of this sneak attack, if he stays behind alone, he'll have to face 10 Shafu demons at once. Actually, when we were retreating, we tried to persuade him to come with us. But after he heard us, he didn't even look back. He just ran straight towards the demons. And he even muttered something before he left. Seeing this, Captain Dye Beard immediately asked, what did he say? Right, he said something about being alone. Something like, it's actually easier for me if I'm by myself. Upon hearing this, the vice captain immediately burst into laughter. Haha, what big talk. If he comes back with all his limbs, he should be thanking his lucky stars. Captain Ran Yang, standing nearby, chimed in. Surrounded by a dozen vicious Sha demons, even I would struggle to escape unscathed. But then again, if he hadn't held back the remaining demons, our casualties would have been far worse than they are now. Regardless, he's one of our own. We need to go provide support immediately. There are likely still quite a few demons remaining. Be prepared for battle. The extermination squad quickly arrived at the destination. Captain Ran, he's just up ahead. Hearing this, Ran Yang immediately warned him that this was a wind tunnel. Even a small sandstorm could be disastrous. Back then, our squad was scattered the furthest by the sand demon assault. Plus, the sand here was blinding. We quickly fell into a trap. Just then, up ahead, a winged figure suddenly appeared. Green Hair immediately shouted, Captain, a demon's coming. Hearing this, Ran Yang quickly commanded, everyone, prepare for battle. But wait, after the dust settled, they realized the newcomer wasn't a demon at all, but Aang, returning from slaying demons. Captain Ran Yang was puzzled. How did he manage to face so many demons and escape unscathed? Then Green Hair pointed at Aang and said, Captain, he's the one who saved us. The guy left behind to hold off the demons was his son? Aang looked at Captain Ran, puzzled. Why is the main force still here? I thought you guys had moved on already. I was just about to catch up. Didn't expect you to turn back. But Captain Ran immediately sensed an extremely dangerous aura around this guy. Could it be because his body was tainted by demon blood? The vice captain asked awkwardly. Why didn't you? Weren't you supposed to stay back? What about the rest of the sand demons? Weren't there like a dozen of them? Aang just smiled faintly at this. Did you think I was a goner? As for those sand demons, I killed them all. That's impossible. How could you take them all out alone? Over a dozen freaking Saru demons. What level are you? Even? The vice captain quickly reminded Captain Ran. No way. This is impossible. This kid's gotta be cheating. Or maybe he's even higher level than you are. How else could one guy wipe out a whole horde of Saru demons? True. Aang purposely flashed the 57 red cores on his chest. I'm a Red River 57 warrior. His hidden potential and true power far surpassed that of an ordinary 5 or 6 core warrior. He could even hold his own against a typical 7 core warrior. But he couldn't reveal that just yet. The vice captain, however, still refused to believe it. Sure, a 5 core warrior's not bad. But he didn't get to finish, as Captain Ran cut him off. Whoa, didn't peg you for a 5 core warrior. Even a 6 core hotshot would have their hands full. Going solo against a dozen Shazu devils, that's a serious scrap. How'd you pull it off? I had a cunning plan. Wen Yanong explained with a cheeky grin. Or as you earthlings say, I had a plan B, and C, and maybe D. I'm just really good at tactical repositioning. He winked. Basically, I kited those bad boys around like a pro, picking them off one by one. This totally bamboozled everyone. They bought it hook, line, and sinker. Tactical repositioning. Huh? Fancy. So, like, you only had to deal with, what, 1 or 2 at a time? No chance for a demonic dogpile? You're a tactical genius. A true battlefield baller. Ran Yang sheathed his weapon. Impressed, he gestured to the younger warriors. We owe you big time. Thanks to your rearguard action, the squad had plenty of time to Regroup. Alright everyone. About face. Continue towards the destination. The group soon arrived at the spot where the scouting team vanished. But Captain Ran Yang was deeply puzzled. The map indicated only 2 entrances to the decaying forest, so why was there a third one here? The vice captain then suggested, if we explore each of the 3 entrances one by one, I'm afraid we'll run out of time. The decaying forest isn't huge, but it's not small either. Searching for people will naturally take more effort than a usual mission. Plus, our team's personnel allocation was originally based on there being only 2 entrances. Considering the team's combat strength, I suggest splitting the team into 2 groups. First, we gotta make sure we have enough firepower. But we can't split into a third team. Captain Wen Yanran pondered for a moment. I understand, splitting into 2 teams is the safest option. But there's that third entrance. If the scout team happens to be in that cave, won't we miss them? A wolf's howl came from behind them. How about one person goes to the third entrance? Everyone looked at Aang in disbelief. What, you want to explore the entrance alone? You're practically asking for death. But Aang simply replied calmly, don't worry yourselves, it's no trouble. I merely suggested exploring the demon entrance alone, and everyone laughed at me like I was a fool. Just because the demons inside are at least armed. There might even be level 6 or 7 demons lurking around. They think I'm basically strolling into a suicide mission. Little do they know, I'm doing this so I can unleash my demonic powers without holding back. Go full throttle, you know? Unleash the Kraken. Meanwhile, their little squads of a dozen guys each barely got inside before bumping into a level 6 or 7 double-core demon from the blue core. Talk about a bad welcome wagon. Just as Aang finished his sentence, a deafening roar erupted from the cave. Someone must have stepped on a demonic Lego. Some of the weaker soldiers almost bit the dust. The vice captain quickly nudged the captain. Like, dude, that ain't right. Time's ticking. The captain said, get everyone inside for a search pronto. Captain Ran Yang, being a seasoned veteran, figured the demons inside were stronger than level 5. No duh, Sherlock. Then Aang pipes up. Captain, any idea how big this forest is? Like asking for directions in a demonic supermarket. Before Captain Ran Yang could answer, the deputy captain next to him roared, why are you asking this? Just obey orders. But Captain Ran Yang waved his hand. I'm not entirely sure of the exact area, because it's never been precisely measured. Originally, this exploration team's mission was to measure it, based on estimates. A 10-person team doing a standard search, not individually, would need at least 3 to 4 hours. Wen Yanong immediately thought, if that's the case, considering the current team size and distribution, having only 3 people per entrance isn't enough. But if I search one entrance alone, I should be able to finish before sunset. Even if I fail or something unexpected happens, it won't affect the progress of the other 2 teams. Captain Ran Yang pondered these words. Everyone started chattering amongst themselves. Yo, I bet he thinks he's hot stuff now. Getting all cocky. But the vice captain spoke up for Aang. Captain's words might sound full of himself, but he's got a point. Another team member chimed in. Tell me about it. Besides, in that situation, who knows if he was telling the truth? Well, in that case, Aang said, don't put me in the same group as some know-it-all platoon. Count me out. But the grizzled warrior beside them scoffed. You look down on platoons? In your little group, don't you have any lone wolf losers? The female warrior, overhearing this, bristled. You got a problem with independent warriors, pal? And with that, the 2 sides erupted into a shouting match. You wanna go, punk? Aang just sighed at this. Same old song and dance. It's like herding cats. Honestly, these outsider warriors are a chaotic bunch, impossible to control. Suddenly, a massive sword slammed into the ground. Thunk. Captain, die hard. Yang exploded. Someone was about to get a stern talking to. Shut it, he roared, making everyone jump. You wanna brawl? Fine. Wait till the mission's over and knock yourselves out. But right now, you're in my squad, and you will follow orders. Anyone wants to test me? Step right up. He cracked his knuckles for emphasis. That shut everyone up real quick. You could hear a pin drop. Even the rowdiest warriors went silent. Captain Yang meant business. Well, they were outsiders. What did you expect? Discipline isn't their strong suit. Their lack of discipline was becoming a real problem. Both Captain Yangs realized this wasn't going to fly. They needed to find the scout team, like yesterday, and get out of Dodge before things went completely sideways. The longer they stayed, the worse it would get. Murphy's Law and all that. Captain Yang turned to Aang. Listen up, kid, don't say I didn't warn ya. He pointed a finger at Aang for good measure. Foreboding music played softly in the background. Just kidding, Maybe, if you go alone. No one can help you if something goes wrong. Wen Yanong replied, I understand, perhaps I can explore it before you all, he said, then walked towards the cave entrance alone. The soldiers behind Jian Zhuang started gossiping again. This guy is so arrogant. Even if he performed well before, he still wants to show off in this situation. There are at least weapons inside the cave. We won't even know how the demons will die. Captain Ran Yang announced to everyone, the elimination mission has changed. Considering the demon level, rescuing the exploration team is the top priority. The rest of the team will be divided into 2 groups to enter. Shortly after Aang entered the cave, traces of demons appeared in the trees behind him. Without saying a word, they launched a sneak attack on Aang. A sudden attack landed on Aang's head, but Aang remained completely unfazed, casually drawing the Kai dynasty blade from behind his back. A flash of white blade energy. In the blink of an eye, and the demon was pierced through by Aang. Lion King Chi's weapon truly is something. Aang mused, countless times sharper than that previous greatsword. But as Aang was lost in thought, ahead, in the dense darkness, countless pairs of star children's eyes appeared. Aang tossed the demon corpse aside. In a corrupted forest this vast, he muttered, exploration requires traveling in groups. Can't resist jumping a lone wolf. Can you? But I came alone for a reason. A very specific reason, so that I can freely unleash my full power without restraint. Come at me, all of you. I'll keep slaughtering until your strongest demon appears. With that, he transformed into a stream of light, charging towards the horde of demons. Scarlet Dynasty blade in hand. Meanwhile, with the vice-captain, even in broad daylight, the dense forest was as dark as night. An eerie silence hung in the air. He proceeded with extreme caution. Everyone, stay alert. Watch all directions. We can't afford to let our guard down. As long as we stick together, the demons won't dare to attack recklessly. We shouldn't run into any major problems. One of the squad members spoke up. Say, do you think that arrogant idiot is already dead? Even if he's not, he's probably running for his life right now. Right? Ha ha ha. Just as they were talking, a figure appeared before them, kneeling on the ground with their back turned. From the back, it looked like a human soldier. So the deputy captain slowly approached. Getting closer, he realized it was a scout team uniform. What a stroke of luck. We found one as soon as we got in. I didn't expect it to be this easy. Does this mean we get a bonus? Hey man, are you from the Dawn City Scout Squad? We're specifically looking for you guys. Where are the rest of your team and your captain? Hey, buddy, you alright? Get up, come with us. But the deputy captain didn't notice. The scout's face was horrifyingly disfigured, and there was red blood at his feet. The next second, the man's face suddenly started to creak and shift. Then, with a tearing sound, he coughed up a stream of blood. Still clueless, the deputy captain asked, holding up his mining lamp, dude, what in the world are you digging up? He craned his neck for a closer look. And boy, was he in for a surprise. Talk about a jump scare that'd make a horror movie proud. He practically vibrated out of his boots. What in the Sam Hill is that thing? 'Cause from the body of their fallen comrade popped a freakin' demon head, grinning like a Cheshire cat on crack. And get this, its eyes were sewn shut. Creepy as all get out. Nightmare fuel. Folks, pure nightmare fuel. The lieutenant freaked, dropping his lamp like a hot potato. He screamed like a little girl who just saw a spider. A big, hairy spider. Then the demon spun around, all casual-like, and said, well, this guy's all hollowed out. Perfect timing. The rest of the crew? Jaws on the floor. They were officially gobsmacked. 6 riders. With dual cores? And their male cores? The moment the 6-rider dual core demon got its bearings, it started crawling towards them. Speak of the devil, or devils. You guys are just what I needed. It's going down. It's going down. The double core demon with 6 and 7 cores finally made its move. And the illusionary movement it possesses. Even Captain Ran Yang, a seasoned warrior of the 6 harmonies, fell victim to it. He almost accidentally killed his teammate. Fortunately, Aang's lightning energy can counter the core's illusions, and he rushed over immediately, blocking Ran Yang's attack. This successfully resolved the crisis. But at this moment, a cry for help suddenly came from behind. Captain Ran Yang, save me. Just now, it was the 67 core. It was the dual core 67. I need to inform Captain Ran Yang, he said as he lit the signal flare in his hand. Instantly, the dazzling light of the flare shot up into the sky, and the demon climbed onto the head of the dead warrior. But when he saw the blinding light in the sky, his entire face suddenly contorted. So bright, don't like. With a single shriek, the 6-winged demon vanished. But by the time they found him, he already held the flare in his hand. Looks like your reinforcements aren't coming. The human soldiers were dumbfounded. The vice captain was also in disbelief. "You're kidding, right?" He caught the flare barehanded, at that speed. But the vice captain quickly reacted, urgently signaling the other soldiers to run. "We're no match for this six-winged demon. Quickly regroup with Captain Ran Yong and retreat." But just as the vice captain turned around, a white demon with enormous claws appeared above him. "Retreat? I think not. Did you really think you could leave without my permission? Why don't you all just stay?" he said, licking his lips. "Let's have some fun, shall we?" Suddenly, the forest was filled with screams. Meanwhile, with Captain Ran Yang's team, things were eerily quiet. "Something's not right about this fog," he muttered. A nearby female warrior turned and asked, puzzled, "Not right? What's not right?" Captain Ran Yong admitted. He couldn't quite put his finger on it. "This corrupted forest isn't that big, but we've been here a while now, and haven't heard a peep from the other team. It's like all three teams have been completely separated." The female warrior just shrugged. "Really? Seems pretty normal to me. Besides, with you leading, those foreign warriors are extra cooperative, finishing off anyone after a skirmish. The whole mission was going lightning fast. Just didn't know what happened to that lone wolf who insisted on going solo. Where could that guy be now?" But just as they were chatting, bursts of energy suddenly attacked from behind Captain Ran Yong. Ran Yong and the female warrior turned around to see dead bodies of human soldiers everywhere. "You're their leader, huh?" Captain Ran Yong was completely confused. Why was this soldier talking to him like that? But the next second, Captain Ran Yang's blood ran cold. The soldier before his eyes slowly shed his human disguise, and in the blink of an eye, transformed into a demon. "So, like what you see. Now, it's your turn." And Captain Ran Yong immediately understood what was happening. He swung his blade horizontally, aiming straight for the kill. "Die, demon." Captain Ran Yang's blade was about to slice the demon in half. But just then, Ang Yi's blade came crashing down. With a single swing, he blocked Captain Ran Yang's attack. Two powerful forces collided, sending shockwaves across the ground. Captain Ran Yong was taken aback by this sudden intervention. He looked closely and recognized the lone warrior. "What are you doing here? Why are you protecting this demon?" Wen Yan Ang quickly explained. "Calm down, Captain Ran Yong. Our clash just blew away some of the fog. Open your eyes and look closely. Look at who you're actually trying to kill." His words struck a chord. Captain Ran Yong finally came to his senses. "Everyone." He turned to look behind him. "What's wrong with them? Why do they all look so vacant?" Wen Yanang slowly explained. "You've all fallen under a demonic illusion. This forest harbors parasitic demons that can manipulate minds. And parasitic demons. And this one is far more powerful than the average parasitic demon. If I hadn't intervened in time, you would have sliced your teammate in half." Just then, the blonde-haired teammate suddenly woke up. "Captain, I just saw everyone die. Quote, a demon grabbed your greatsword and tried to chop me down. It scared the living daylights out of me." Hearing this, Captain Ran Yong realized the gravity of the situation. It seems everyone experienced their own terrifying illusions. This parasitic demon preys on our minds, either driving us to kill each other, or causing a complete mental breakdown. The rest of you, listen up. Immediately confirm your teammate's status. But Captain Ran Yong was extremely puzzled. "How did you find out? Weren't you on another route? But it's a good thing you showed up in time. Otherwise, I would have really killed my own teammate." Wen Yan Ang slowly explained. "It just so happens that I have a special ability, so this illusion doesn't work on me. This was because of the red energy on Ang, and the lightning element. These two powerful forces made Ang almost impervious. Moreover, he had also encountered the attack before, but after fighting for a long time, he found that the demons were endless. Later, he accidentally discovered the clue. It turned out that these mists were the culprit. The mist can cause hallucinations. I got lost in it without even realizing." As soon as he said this, Captain Ran Yong was even more shocked. "What kind of power is this? You can actually resist this kind of illusion? Are you really just a 5-core warrior?" But Ang just responded coldly. "I'm not your warrior. I'm willing to help, but I hope you won't ask about everything I do. This evil demon might be the dual-core level 6 or 7 demon that I'm looking for." Hearing Ang say this, Captain Ran Yong could only give up asking. But just at this moment, a cry for help came from behind. "Help me." Seeing this, Captain Ran Yong immediately ordered. "It's a distress signal from another squad. All soldiers, follow me immediately." With that said, a company charged towards the source of the sound. By this time, the vice captain had been tortured beyond recognition. But the demon was also quite puzzled. "Interesting. Someone over there is unaffected by my illusions. And that energy burst from before was quite powerful. Very well. Come here and let me see who you really are. To actually be able to break through my illusions. Success. Success. The 6 pawns and the demon's illusionary scheme is about to succeed. Just as everyone was about to rescue the vice captain, they discovered that the vice captain and the others had already been brutally killed by the demon. Consumed by vengeance, the enraged soldiers were about to seek revenge on the demon. Little did they know, the demon had already set up illusions all around, and it caused everyone, including Captain Ran Yang, to fall under its spell, and in perfect unison, their gazes locked onto Aang, who looked like, well, the devil himself, just moments ago. Meanwhile, Lang had sniffed out the intentions of the 6-eared, double-core demon. This guy was clearly up to no good. This dude's definitely not just some chump. Lang thought, if I just rush in like a bull in a china shop, I'm gonna end up faceplanting right into this guy's trap. But then he thought, can't just leave these guys hanging like a bat in a cave. So, Aang made up his mind, gotta stick with him and play it by ear. Let's wing it. Judging by the mountain of skeletons littering the path, a whole lot of human warriors had met their maker in this creepy place. And to make matters worse, things were getting darker than a dungeon up ahead. Captain Ran Yang chimed in with a helpful warning. Alright, everyone, stick close, shoulder to shoulder. This demon ain't your average Joe. We're talking big leagues here. But a split second later, Captain Ran Yang spotted something fishy. He slammed on the brakes so hard the car nearly did a backflip. Hold up, everyone stop, look up there. What in the, what? The scene before them instantly enraged everyone. Human warriors were hung from the withered branches of a dead tree. And it seemed they had been dead for quite some time. Damn demons, a whole squad, wiped out just like that. A warrior pointed at the tree and shouted, Captain, look, even the lieutenant is dead. The demons hanged them all. Hearing this, Captain Ran Yang quickly commanded, everyone, don't panic, don't lose your heads. Have you forgotten this demon is Zihi? This must be an illusion to confuse us. A trick to mess with our minds. He's waiting for us to fall apart. Then he'll strike. Calm down, everyone. But then, a bucket of cold water was dumped on the captain's head. This is no illusion, but it's real. This is indeed another squad. And they're all really dead. As he spoke, Aang pulled out the Kai dynasty sword from his back. If I guessed correctly, the demon should be ambushing nearby. But just at this moment, the hanging vice captain suddenly spoke. Captain, save me. Hearing these words, Captain Ran Yang immediately looked up. He suddenly became incredibly excited. They're not dead. They're still alive. Everyone, quickly save them. But just as they were about to go and rescue them, Aang stopped them with his sword. Seeing this, the enraged Captain Ran Yang, Yi Lin, immediately questioned, what do you mean? Wen Yan, Aang coldly explained, Captain, please take a good look. What exactly is that above your head? Is he really the vice captain? Hearing Lang say that, Captain Ran Yang took a closer look at the demon. A 67 dual-core demon. The 67 dual-core demon slowly began to speak, its voice dripping with temptation. Color me surprised. You saw through my illusionary sleep. Quote, how curious. My illusions are useless against you. Well then, there's no need for these corpses to remain. With that, he tore the vice captain and the others' bodies to shreds. Seeing this, Captain Ran Yang flew into a rage. You damned beasts. Even if it kills me, I will avenge my fallen comrades. Die. He swung his weapon at the demon's head with a mighty roar. A thunderous boom echoed through the air. Boom. Mountain-splitting skill unleashed. Smoke clears. And poof. No demon in sight. Captain, did we do it? Asks a hopeful soldier. But surprise, demon dude pops up behind them like a bad penny. My, aren't we feisty little humans? Too bad you're about as strong as a wet noodle. Everyone spins around like, wait, what? Then, smug demon continues, hey, Captain Wannabe, trying to avenge your buddies. Are we? That's the last straw. Captain Furrypants goes full supernova. Even if I can't kill you today, I'm gonna pound you into demon dust. He charges like a bull seeing red, or a captain seeing demon, and is practically face to face with the demon in a blink. Too late for anyone to stop him. Revenge is a dish best served, well, it's about to be served messy. Blinded by rage and fury, we gotta find a way to stop this chump. Suddenly, the purple thingy on the demon's head lit up like a Christmas tree. Since you're all so eager to kick the bucket, I'll be happy to show you how it's done. Evil laughter ensues, but before he could finish his villain monologue, Captain Rami and his sidekick's attacks came to a screeching halt. A split second later, Captain Rami realized something was seriously off. He swore he just sliced the demon into demon bacon, but his sword was stuck in a tree. A freaking tree. Oh, snap. Turns out, the demon had pulled a Houdini and vanished into thin air, or smoke. Whatever. Captain Die Hard then barked out orders. Alright, troops, find that sneaky devil. He can't have gone far. But the fog was thicker than pea soup, making it impossible to see anything. While everyone was busy playing hide and seek with the demon, a figure emerged from the mist behind them. Spooky, but on closer inspection, it wasn't Aang. Nope, not even close. It was a freakin' six-legged, double-cord, whatchamacallit. The demon frantically yelled to the crowd. I found it. That 6'7" demon. It's here. But Aang quickly realized it was a demonic illusion. Classic demon move. He was the only one in the group immune to illusions. Talk about a skill to brag about. Everyone else? Totally mind-tricked from the get-go. The illusion made them think Aang was the demon. The ultimate, you've been served, moment. They were ready to hunt Aang down like he was the last slice of pizza at a party. Meanwhile, the demon was probably chilling, watching the chaos unfold. Master manipulator, reaping the rewards without lifting a finger. Talk about lazy evil. But Aang wasn't about to let the demon's plan slide. No way. No how. Oh, this is getting interesting, Aang thought, a mischievous glint in his eye. Someone's about to get wrecked. Big time. Double core 6'7" demon? You're playing a dangerous game, buddy. As Captain Ran Yang led the charge against Aang, Aang decided it was time to drop the act and unleash the beast. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Plus, who could pass up a chance to spar with a level 67 warrior? It's like a gamer's dream come true. 5, 6, 7 demon. Couldn't you just, stay put and enjoy the show? But this dude just had to run his yap, taunting Ying Jun like a total noob. And boy, did he poke the bear. Ying Jun went full on ballistic. Without skipping a beat, he unleashed his inner Thor. All thunder and lightning. Whatcha looking at, punk? Get your butt down here and fight like a man. No sooner had the words left his mouth than Captain Ran Yang went full send, launching himself at Aang like a kamikaze. Die, you demonic scum, he roared, spitting fire. Aang, on the other hand, was practically giddy with excitement. He'd never thrown down with a 6 riders human warrior before. This was his chance to shine. Talk about a lucky break. Aang wasn't about to back down from a challenge. Boom! The battlefield erupted in a blinding flash of light and sound. The sheer force of their power engulfed the entire area. Meanwhile, the demon lord sat back, enjoying the show like it was WrestleMania. This is epic, he cackled. Haven't seen a beatdown this good in ages. Such a fantastic freak show. He thought, this is gonna be freakin' epic. Aangze, with an icy glare, said, you think you can just watch us like we're monkeys in a zoo? Well, in that case, I'll give you a taste of the true power of my awesome abilities. With that, Aangze went full throttle, like a lightning bolt, straight towards Captain Ranyang. He charged at the captain. Seeing this, a nearby human soldier gasped. No way. How's that possible? That demon actually blocked Captain Ranyang's Crimson River attack? Aangze, without missing a beat, thought, if lightning element itself is effective against demons, then this is gonna be a piece of cake. Maybe I can even break Captain Ranyang and the others free from that illusion. It's not entirely impossible. Well, Captain Ranyang, allow me to offer my sincerest apologies in advance. With that, he raised high the Crimson Dynasty in his hand. Instantly, streaks of white lightning energy danced around him, flowing freely. Captain Ranyang and his men charged forward, determined to avenge their fallen comrades. Jian Zhuangnang roared, Captain, sorry, but you guys need a nap. As soon as he finished speaking, Aang plunged the Crimson Dynasty into the ground. Immediately, a terrifying surge of lightning energy erupted, instantly blasting Captain Ranyang and his men off their feet. Paralyzed by the lightning, their eyes glazed over. In the blink of an eye, they closed their eyes. In the distance, the 6'7" demon watched in shock. What in the Sam Hill kind of lightning power does this kid have? It's like he's got a freaking demon power-up mixed in with it. And that power is giving me the major heebie-jeebies. Man, seriously creepy, just as I suspected. Though, perfectly controlling that lightning juice is just what the doctor ordered to wipe out their negative status effects. That includes that 6 demon horsemen's whack job illusions, too. He then gives those 6 airborne demon dudes the stink eye, and thinks, alright, first things first, gotta bring this bozo down. Meanwhile, the 6 demon horsemen are scratching their heads like, did this punk just zap away our illusions with lightning? What's he gonna pull next? But Aang just strolls forward all cool and collected, looks up at the demons and goes, yo, before I go full on Hulk smash, you better get your butts down here pronto. And just like that, bam, suddenly, Blinding white. Lightning blasts out of Aang's mouth like he's a human Tesla coil. It's like a freaking laser show of doom. It cleaved down towards where the 6 horsemen of the apocalypse stood. Right then and there, it struck the 6 horsemen, making them tremble uncontrollably. How is this possible? His voice, unexpectedly, also possessed that strange lightning power. Even the purple protective shield outside his body shattered along with it. With a crack, the 6 horsemen's entire body fell uncontrollably to the ground. Lang just watched coldly from the side, but the 6 horsemen still said disdainfully, "As expected, you have some skills. You were actually able to break my illusion, but that's all you've got. Die, human," he said, transforming his hands into sharp blades and stabbing towards Aang's head. Seeing this, Aang didn't even move. "Seems like this is all you can do. Or is your death truly impossible?" "It's dynasty," he declared. In a flash, he sliced through the demon's attack and sent the creature flying with a thunderous boom. The dumbfounded demon couldn't believe its eyes. How did he do that? It wondered. Thank goodness it was blocked. He countered after I attacked. How? That terrifying speed. It's unnerving. I need to be much more careful now. Holding the Crimson Dynasty, he approached with a confident stride. A dual core. As I suspected. Demon 67. You picked the right fight this time. Now then, choose how you want to die. Demon 67's brain went into overdrive. He not only wields strange lightning powers, but seeing me doesn't make him nervous or afraid at all. He's actually excited, like he was the devil, and I was the sacrificial lamb. Talk about a bad day at the office. I faced down hordes of squishy human warriors and nasty demons, but nothing, and I mean nothing, has ever felt this terrifying. But old Kong, there wasn't about to let me catch my breath. Nope, he stomped the ground so hard. My grandma felt it. Then, bam, he's right in front of Mr. 67 Demon Dude. His Crimson Dynasty sword thingy was crackling with lightning. Seriously, it was like a rave in his hand. He swung that bad boy right at 67's head. 4. Kablooey. The ground where Kong stood was now a crater the size of my ex's ego. But then, Kang's jaw dropped. He whiffed. Total air swing. Suddenly, that creepy demon voice is right behind him. Over here, Sparky, you puny human. You think you can kill me? You can't touch this. Literally. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Demon Dude unleashes a flurry of attacks. Kong barely blocks them with his glowy sword. Close one. This guy just conjured up a bunch of demons. Looks like it's more than just simple illusions. Let's take out one of them first. Without hesitation, he unleashed an arrow. But who would have thought? He missed the target again. It was like hitting thin air. So close, yet so far. Almost hit it, but always a hair's breadth away. The 6 demon riders' taunts echoed from behind. Over here, you can't kill me, human. After regaining his balance, Aang immediately started thinking. It's a combination of dual-core illusion and agile movement. But only one is the real body. You really think I can't do anything about you? So he directly activated the thunder technique. Aang, after carefully observing the demon's movements, quickly locked onto the demon's true form. But Aang simply said to the demon, "It's you." Right. As I was saying, the Crimson Dynasty attack landed a direct hit on the 6 demonic knights. Suddenly, green blood splattered everywhere. The knights barely managed to regain their footing. Impossible. This kid's lightning power. It's my kryptonite. My attacks are useless against him. If this keeps up, I'm toast. Time to make like a banana and split. He turned and bolted. But a second later, a chill ran down his spine. That feeling. The icy grip of death. He couldn't be wrong. He looked up and saw Aang's attack descending upon him. Too late to dodge. Aang smiled. Well, demon, offer me your enchanted box. Our dude just took a random nap. Nothing special. Wakes up and bam, that big bad demon? Dead as a doornail. And guess who offed the beast? Not the cool kids. Not the popular squad. But the guy everyone laughed at. Little does anyone know, our hero wasn't out for glory. He just wanted that sweet demon loot. Saving people? That was just a bonus. Like a buy one get one free deal. Meanwhile, Mang and the demons' throwdown caused a major thunderstorm. Talk about a light show. C2 chilling in Dawn City, watching the fireworks. Like, whoa, that's totally Mang's energy signature. 'Cause they're both part of the exclusive club. Humans with Demon Powers Anonymous. Secret handshake and everything. So even though they're miles apart, they got that demon bro connection. But hold on. Plot twist. Keiko goes full drama queen. Cries, wah, and face plants. Right into the scene. Smooth. Real smooth. But after Wei Zi sat up, she immediately looked in C2's direction and asked, "Hey, you've been watching this for a while now. Is there something interesting over there?" Situ Fei said. Nothing much. I'm just feeling Aang's aura. If I'm not mistaken, that lightning bolt in the distance was caused by Aang. I can sense that he's currently in a very powerful state. There shouldn't be any problems. Wei Zi, however, had a puzzled look on her face. Aang's lightning? How do you know that? But just then, Li Ji also slipped and rolled over, and curiously looked at the two of them. Hey, what are you guys looking at? Hearing this, Wei Zi pointed to the distant lightning. Quote, we're looking at that. Li Ji, hearing these words, was completely dumbfounded. Huh? Wei Zi said. I'm not sure either. Fei said that within that lightning, I can sense Aang's presence. My logical mind finds this slightly disturbing. What in the world are you talking about? Isn't that just normal thunder? It's probably going to rain over there. But as the three of them were discussing, a figure suddenly appeared. What are you three spacing out for? Hearing this, the three of them jumped up. Lena walked over with a gloomy face. Listen up, you three. If you don't get stronger before Aang returns, you'll only be a burden to him. Don't even think about helping Aang in future battles. Because before Aang left, he told Lena, before I return, make sure to train their physiques. I need them to have strong bodies. He said seriously, looking at Lena. Please. Therefore, Lena knew very well. I promise I'll do what you asked. You just need to come back safe. Don't just stand there. Get up and fight. Get ready. I'm making my move. This time, try to defend against my physical attack for 10 seconds. Kiko's jaw dropped when she heard 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 5 seconds was enough to get us. 10 seconds? We'll be toast. Meanwhile, with Tying, the dual-core 6 Knights of Demon, were getting completely wrecked by Aang. Damn you, human warrior. How are you so fast? I'm usually the one getting behind people. But Aang wasn't interested in demonic chit-chat. With a single swift strike, his dynasty blade cleaved through the demon's defenses. He scoffed at the demon and said, "Wanna race lightning? You stupid devil? Just how dumb are you? Death is the only path left for you." The 6-7 dual-core demon was utterly shocked. He's clearly just a human warrior. But why does he exude such an unfathomable presence? This suffocating pressure, only those few at the very top possess it. Is he really just a human warrior? But even so, the demon refused to back down, even if it means death. I will fight you. But Aang gave him no chance to resist. It's over for you. Damned devil, he declared. With that, the dynasty's power pierced straight through the demon's chest. But the 6-7 dual-core demon was still unwilling to accept defeat. Damn it, because of your strange lightning element, my dual-core couldn't even exert half of its power. But don't think you can have him. A smug grin crept across his lips as he spoke. Then die with me. The words had barely left his mouth when his eyes flashed with a pinkish-purple light. He was about to unleash a self-destruct attack, but Lang, ever vigilant, sensed the demon's intentions and swiftly kicked him away. You want to self-destruct? Think you have a chance? Aang's pupils narrowed, turning cold. He instantly unleashed his lightning control skill. Crackling white lightning bolts bound the demon in midair. The demon struggled, but couldn't break free. Aang then unleashed his Thunderflame Burst skill, plunging the Crimson Dynasty blade into the demon's body. The demon was engulfed in a furious storm of lightning. All that remained were helpless roars of frustration. Self-destruction? Not a chance. With its dying breath, the demon gritted its teeth and asked, "Are you a human warrior? Or a demon?" When Yanang slowly raised his head, "I'll let you die knowing the truth. I am a human warrior." With those words, a deafening boom erupted. A violent explosion rocked the battlefield. The dual-core 6 riding demon was completely obliterated. As the smoke and dust slowly cleared, 2 demonic core boxes, one blue and one purple, floated in the air. A faint energy connection still lingered between them. Aang watched the 2 core boxes slowly descend, and effortlessly caught them in his hand. So these must be the demonic core boxes. Nightfall approached once again. Captain Ran Yong and the others should be waking up soon. Aang decided to wait for them. A short while later, Ran Yong slowly opened his eyes. Upon waking, his first instinct was to touch his forehead. Was I knocked out? He couldn't recall when it happened. But then he saw his teammates were still there, just currently unconscious. Seeing this, he breathed a sigh of relief. Suddenly, Aang's voice rang out. "Captain, you're awake." Hearing this, Captain Ran Yong shot up with a swoosh. He opened his eyes wide and saw it was Aang. "It's you. It's already night? What about that dual-core level 67 demon?" He was told it had been slain. Captain Ran Yong was extremely puzzled. All the surrounding demons had also been eliminated. Captain Ran Yong couldn't believe his eyes. But just at that moment, Aang tossed him a water bottle. "Don't just space out. Drink some water first, Captain." At this moment, Captain Ran Yong tentatively asked, Are you saying that you single-handedly took down that 6-riding double harmony demon? Shocked Pikachu face. Aang, regarding the new 6 heroes, was even more shocked by the hidden power of the new king. Just as Aang finished sparring with Captain Ren Yang in a dominating fashion, afterwards, Aang learned from him an incredibly shocking piece of news. It turned out that after he died in battle at the ancient tomb in his past life, some members of the new 6 heroes had also single-handedly entered the captured tomb and returned alive and victorious. Moreover, their full strength has never been witnessed by anyone to this day, let alone the unfathomable power of the new king. He is the only 3-core 7-flag warrior. Something's fishy. Seriously fishy. What else are they hiding? Just now, when Aang gave Ren Yang a definite answer, but a member of the other squad, Captain Ren Yang, said we all did our best. But that's 6 Flags dual-core hard demon. What's your true power? Aang slowly stood up. Just think of it as, the only way to restrain this demon's special ability is, the most important thing now is, you're all still alive, aren't you? I'll go check if there are any remaining demons nearby. It's late at night now. Go get some rest with the other soldiers. They probably won't wake up for a while. Looking at his teammates beside him, Captain Ren Yang couldn't help but ponder. This demon's illusion magic. Talk about a sneaky sneak attack. Even I had my mind messed with without even realizing it. At this time, Aang also responded. The twin demons, among demons of the same rank, are considered top-tier fighters. 2 different cores. The fighting power they can unleash isn't just double, it's exponential. You waking up so fast is pretty impressive. Not gonna lie, Ren Yang could only sigh helplessly. Well, great. I'm a 6 harmony warrior, a top-tier fighter in Dawn City, and I got underestimated by a demon? Can't even use my full power. This is beyond frustrating. Suddenly, Ren Yang's eyes lit up. As the leader of Dawn City's cleanup operation, and as the captain, because you saved my squad members, I've decided not to pry into your true identity. But as a human warrior, I personally can't let this go. I'm incredibly curious. As a warrior of the 6 harmonies, compared to you, a foreign warrior who single-handedly defeated 6 or 7 dual-core demons, who is truly stronger? Now, I have a request. I hope to have a brief spar with you. Let me witness your true abilities. Wen Yan raised his arm and opened his eyes, responding calmly. There's no need. Captain, I believe your true strength is definitely not lacking. This situation is rather special. We lack basic information on this demon. This led to, before he could finish, Ren Yang interrupted him. Please don't refuse me. Just consider it me being personally curious about your strength. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Strikes a dramatic pose. Soldier, I challenge you to a duel. Let's see what you've got. Aang Jihao, never one to back down from a fight. Accepted with a grin. He loved a good scrap. The more competitive the better. Which, let's be honest, is kind of a prerequisite for being a decent soldier. You gotta have that fire in your belly. Otherwise, you're just a guy in a uniform asking for directions. Personally, I'm easy. Happy to oblige. Plenty of room to rumble around here. So, Captain Ren Yang, let's give you what you want. A show. Your wish is my command. Or something like that. Ren Yang stomped his foot, sending tremors through the ground. Showtime. Alright, soldier boy, don't hold back. Give it your all. No wimpy moves allowed. Let's see what you're really made of. Impress me. Aang Jihao slowly reached for his Kai Dynasty sword. A glint in his eye. You know, he said, I used to be just as eager for a good brawl. Consider this a friendly, but serious, competition. But as soon as the words left his mouth, crickets. Ren Yang had vanished. Poof. Where'd he go? But in a split second, a heavy thud echoed. Someone just got served. In the blink of an eye, quicker than a hiccup, Captain Ren Yang zoomed in from afar. Like a boss, he unleashed a flurry of wild sword slashes. Zoom, 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 catching Aang completely off guard. Surprise, buddy. But Captain Ren Yang's jaw dropped faster than a lead balloon when his mighty sword swings sliced. Nothing but air. Whiff. Aang had vanished. Poof. Gone like a ninja in the night. Only on the ground did some seriously deep cracks appear. Someone's been skipping leg day. Aang was nowhere to be seen. Dude's a ghost. Suddenly, bam, Aang reappeared like a bad penny. Captain Ren Yang was left speechless, and probably a little dizzy. This guy was fast. Like, greased lightning fast. Sonic the Hedgehog fast. He'd somehow teleported behind the captain. Sneaky. The captain scrambled to block Aang's attack. Not today, Satan. But Aang, oh, that sly dog, seized the moment of distraction, and wham, planted a foot right on Captain Ren Yang's head. Headshot. Ren Yang saw this and thought, Uh-oh, spaghetti-os. But Aang's attack was already raining down on him like a bad burrito. There was no escape. Ran Yong was stuck between a rock and a hard taco. Suddenly, boom, asterisk. The whole place went loco. For 100 kilometers around. It was like a piñata exploded. The ground shook harder than a chihuahua on a sugar rush. When the dust settled, literally, Aang was standing over Captain Ran Yong like a boss. He'd totally schooled him. Like a teacher with a really big ruler. Even Ran Yang's weapon was chipped and busted up like a dropped ice cream cone. Captain Ran Yong, you're toast. Game over. Man, drop your weapon. Doesn't matter how many times you try this salsa dance. I'll see your moves coming a mile away. I'll find your weak spot faster than a hungry dude finds a free burrito. Knock you down. And take your toys. So, Captain Ran Yong, feeling lucky? Wanna go another round? Or are you gonna cry, uncle? Looking at Aang's smug face, Ran Yong felt a chill go down his spine colder than a frozen margarita. He's right. Ready or not, I'd be disarmed. It's a fundamental difference in strength. His power. That aura he has. I've only seen it in a few people. Like Shin Liahao, but he looks barely 20. Aang extends a hand. Get up, Captain. That's enough for today. Ran Yong felt a strange sensation. His expression now, compared to just now, completely different from Shin Luhao's. Like a kind elder, sometimes cold, sometimes warm. A smile touched Ran Yang's lips. What a mysterious warrior. Captain Ran Yong accepted Aang's help. I admit defeat this time. But Captain Ran Yong has one burning question. With your current strength, why join this temporary task force? You're definitely not just a 5-core warrior. You're even, in my experience, the strongest human warrior below the new 6 heroes. Hearing, new 6 heroes. Aang Bujing frowned. New 6 heroes? You think my strength is below the new 6 heroes? Captain Ran Yong affirmed. 7 core is the pinnacle for warriors. The gap between 6 core and 7 core might be even larger than between 1 core and 6 core. The terrifying strength displayed by the new 6 heroes is simply not something a 6-core warrior like myself can compare to. No one has witnessed the full extent of their power. No one has seen it so far. And I've heard people mention before. One of them single-handedly waltzed into an ancient king's tomb and strolled back out in one piece. Like it was a trip to the grocery store. That's beyond anything we can fathom. We're talking legendary status. As soon as those words were spoken, Aang was completely floored. Jaw on the floor. The whole 9 yards. Into an ancient king's tomb? Are you kidding me? That's like the ultimate no-no. We're talking about an ancient king's tomb. It was where he and his comrades fought, and sometimes died in his past life. Talk about a blast from the past. Even now, Tang doesn't like to dwell on those memories. Too much PTSD. But something about this whole thing felt off. Like a crooked picture frame. The new king and the 6 new lords. They're definitely hiding something. Sneaky little hobbitses. Just then, Ran Yong pointed out that dawn was approaching. Time to wakey. The other soldiers would be waking up soon. Rise and shine. Sleepyheads, are you coming back to Dawn City with us? Hop in the clown car. Wen Yan Ang closed his eyes and replied softly, yeah, let's roll. Got a few loose ends to tie up back in town. Gotta love a good cliffhanger.